Quick question. How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, busy days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busywork. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
It was the Roman poet Virgil who said, "Easy is the descent to hell. All night long, all day, the doors of dark Hades stand open. But to retrace the path, to come out again to the sweet air of heaven, there is the task, there is the burden. If I cannot move heaven, I will raise hell." We'll talk about that later, but now it's time for Rick Tittle and Titillating Sports Friday edition as we get ready here on Sports Byline USA. Titillating Sports is a show. I am in your eponymous host, Rick Tittle, coming to you from our home studios here in downtown San Francisco, California. Or as Mayor Willie Bryan used to say, San Francisco, like there was U's. Welcome to San Francisco. 1-800-878-PLAY is the number to call that works all over North America. 1-800-878-7529. Get in and get heard wherever you might happen to be listening. 1-800-878-PLAY. Although every segment, if people show up, we are booked to the gills today. We're going to have a segment about medicine. Appointment radio coming up next. Then we'll have a Tribeca film. Then we'll talk about a Phantom of the Opera benefit. Hey, you never know. Are you kidding? No. This is my show. This is how I roll. Apparently. Julian Schlossberg will join us in the third hour. Carmine Marino with a Preakness preview. And then we start getting into some big hitters here. Jim Plunkett at 10:40. Gary Sinise at 11:12. 11:25, Pedro Fernandez from Ring Talk Live worldwide on the Byline Network. He'll come in here and flap his gums. And then Taylor Nichols from Bike Talk. I'm going to try one with 2 wheels. We'll see what Bike Talk's all about, but he's going to come in studio as well. And so we'll have back-to-back in-studio guests in the third hour. Tune in at iHeartRadio app, Stitcher app. Then you can watch me and my guests on Twitch.tv and YouTube as well. There I am. So hot, so fine. The Twitter's at Rick Tittle. Come on back.
Listen, were you forced into getting a solar contract and now you don't want it anymore? Maybe the solar company misled you. Or is your solar contract buried with hidden fees? Are you not saving the amount of money you thought you would on your energy costs? Don't worry. At the Solar Exit Hotline, we can help you cancel your solar contract, even if the panels are already installed. Our experienced legal team will review your contract and help you cancel it, possibly saving you thousands of dollars. You got to call right now for complete details. So if you're not happy with your solar contract for any reason, we are here to help you cancel it. Call the Solar Exit Hotline now for immediate options to help you exit your solar contract. This call is 100% free.
800-826-4073. 800-826-4073. 800-826-4073. That's 800-826-4073.
Have you suffered sports betting losses? There is someone who wants to fight for you to see you get back what you have lost to those sports betting companies. Michael Watts is a prolific trial lawyer with over $11 billion in total recoveries for his clients. And now with sportsbetting.com, he'd like to help you. Michael has been a leader in some of the largest and most complex cases in the country, from defective cars and tires to damaging drugs and medical products. He has always represented the rights of individuals harmed by large corporations. His efforts recently resulted in the recovery of billions for individuals who lost their properties to fires carelessly caused by electric companies and others. Michael knows that sports betting companies preyed on and manipulated consumers into losing their life savings, and he wants to make them pay. If you have suffered financial hardship as a result of online sports betting and would like help seeking compensation, please submit your claim information for evaluation at sportsbettingclaim.com. Michael Watts is focused on winning for you. sportsbettingclaim.com.
Lower your car payment today. Lower your car payment today. Yes, you heard us right. You can lower your car payment right now by making this free call and save up to $1,400 a year on your current car payments. Think about your current car payment right now. What's that costing you per year? Now think about what it would be like to put an extra $1,400 back in your pocket. That's the average savings our customers experience. We can help you drive the same car and pay less every month by lowering your car payment's interest rate to as low as 4.67%. At Rate Genius, we can work with you to refinance any car payment. If you qualify, it costs you nothing to find out how you can lower your car payment. To learn more, call this number right now.
800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. 800-832-2816. That's 800-832-2816.
Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle is a genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful, genius, the best show ever. He's so wonderful. Titillating Sports with Rick Tittle. Rick Tittle, he's so handsome, he's a genius.
You're now listening to The Rick Tittle Show. Good for you.
All right, thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast, and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. Let's go over to Jollyfield, England now. We're quite happy to have innovating physicist Leslie Kenny is joining us. She is the founder of Oxford Health Span, which is a healthy aging brand, and it's they have, as I said, groundbreaking stuff when it comes to this. Dr. Kenny, welcome to the show. And I know this is something that wasn't just something you were interested in. This was kind of hit home with you personally, right?
It did, actually. And I'll just correct one thing. I'm not a medical doctor, so I do want to make that clear.
Okay.
But the reason it hit home for me was because I am an autoimmune patient. And 22 years ago, I was told that my lupus was so bad I had only 5 years left to live. And that triggered a lifelong fascination with the immune system. And the compound that I'm about to talk to you about actually is something that can rejuvenate elderly immune cells. And basically, even though I was only 39 at the time of my diagnosis, my immune cells were geriatric immune cells. They were dysfunctional. And the compound that has been studied here at the University of Oxford, where I'm based, is spermidine. It's a bit of a funny name, and yes, it is in semen, but it is also in breast milk, and it is naturally occurring, and it is so important to the survival of the next generation, which is why it's in all of these things like semen and breast milk that help the baby survive. But in our own bodies, we make it until our late 20s, and then, just like testosterone, our production drops as we get older. The reason we need it is because it triggers a cellular cleanup process called autophagy, which was the subject of the 2016 Nobel Prize. And think of autophagy, that's just a Greek word for self-eating. Think of that as cellular waste management. It basically cleans out the garbage in the cells and allows them to work more properly. And of course, helps with recovery at the cellular level. I know you're a genius and you're apparently the most handsome, but this will help you and your cells perform, look, and feel even more genius-like than they did before. For athletes who understand recovery, they know that autophagy is recovery at the cellular level.
Oxfordshire is a great place, and I love all those towns in England. And I remember there was a place near Oxfordshire called Forest Hill with Shotover. I mean, that's the name of the town.
That's your Shotover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that the Thames goes through there as well. So what brought you there? Were you a Rhodes Scholar?
Oh, I so wish I had been. No, I actually came for love, and had married the son of a philosopher here, and then relocated here from Southern California. But I have to say that for academics, Oxford is a kind of Disneyland, and it's very exciting to be at high table in a college and sit across from a world-class economist or a physicist or a mathematician. And sometimes when you speak to these individuals, an approach or perspective that they have triggers you to think of your own subject in a new and different way. And so that is really what Oxford is. It's Disneyland for people who love to think and read, really. But since you're a genius, I know you know that.
Well,
Maybe you even have spent time here as a Rhodes Scholar.
I think we're the same age. Were you class of 83 in high school?
I sure was,
Yeah,
absolutely. So I was born in 1965.
So was I. So were you at grad night at the real Disneyland?
So was I there? I remember it, and I didn't go because I was a speech and debater, and
Wow.
I was at nationals for that. So I think that was in Kansas City, Mo, the year that I went, of all things. But yeah, for those of us who were born, born in the 60s or even 70s, making sure that our cells maintain themselves well as we age is obviously important. And there are even pools of cells, like in the heart, cardiomyocytes, they govern the heartbeat. Those cells actually don't replicate very often. When we're 26, only about 1% will replenish themselves in a year. But by our age, 60, 61, only 0.5% will actually renew themselves, which means we need this cell renewal process called autophagy to maintain them, like 1965 Mustangs, with the oil topped up,
Yeah.
new tires, and, the chrome polished. So that's why I always tell people, we didn't know about this process of autophagy until relatively recently. But if we can tap into it, and you can tap into it by using food-derived compounds like spermidine, or you can also tap into it by fasting. And it is one of the primary benefits of fasting. Of course, you'll lose weight then. If you take the food-derived compounds, you will still activate autophagy. You don't necessarily get the weight loss, but you get the cell renewal benefits. And for bodybuilders or athletes who like the idea of fasting but don't want to lose their muscle, you can actually do this instead. So make sure you get plenty of spermidine from food sources in your diet. Take supplemental food-derived spermidine, and then you get those cell renewal benefits, and you don't have to worry about the fast breaking down your muscle for energy while you aren't eating.
One last question for you, and you're right. People who were born in 1965, like us, when we hear terms like food as medicine, that doesn't make a lot of sense to us. But then, it's a dichotomy between people will say, in the old days, there was so much more nutritious elements in our fruits and vegetables, but now we spray them down and they're not. We don't get the same. But then again, the quality of life and the lifespan was much lower in those days as well. So where do we draw the line between that as modern day food as medicine?
Well, first of all, the reason why some of those people weren't living as long was they simply didn't have access to antibiotics like penicillin, also developed here at the University of Oxford.
They also,
they also
smoked like 3 packs a day. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah.
And they drank like fish, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think today we have a different challenge, which is we are confronted with so much ultra-processed food. And, modern industrial farming techniques are spraying everything with glyphosate, which has been linked to cancer. And when you are, microdosing food after food that has been sprayed with pesticides, and you're getting those crops from soil that is depleted of nutrients, and they go through this massively processed system whereby a lot of other additives, emulsifiers, thickeners, and things to improve mouthfeel are added, you're not actually getting nutrition like you used to. This is why I say, yes, please, by all means, get spermidine from things like mushrooms and legumes. Soy is a great source. But a lot of people are like, I'm not eating soy. Soy is sprayed with pesticides. So, you can get it. We get all of our raw materials from Japan. Japan does not allow glyphosate to be sprayed on any of the crops for drying purposes. And we then take the highly concentrated wheat germ, where we get our spermidine, and we remove the fatty acids that might go rancid. So it's a really pure product, and make sure it includes all of the naturally co-occurring nutrients. An apple is a full nutrient package. It doesn't just have vitamin C, it has pectin, it has fiber as well. And our also contains other synergistic nutrients that help spermidine activate autophagy, but are also part of a recycling process that allows you to get more from just taking one dose.
Yes, and we could talk to you all day. We're out of time. But Leslie Kenny with Oxford Health Span, where do we go online real quickly to find out more?
Go to oxfordhealthspan.com, and we're doing a giveaway as well. So I think your listeners will be able to take part in this. If it's not now, it's sometime soon. You will be able to get either a single bottle for free, there are 2 of them, or you could win a tub of our Primatine Original powder, which you can add to your smoothies, sprinkle on your porridge, sprinkle in your toast, or add to your acai bowl.
All right, Leslie Kenny with Oxford Health Span, thanks for your time.
Lovely chatting with you, Vic. And see a genius.
All right, sounds good. Come on back on Byline.
Like the legend of the Phoenix. Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed, and everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back end. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
My fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy the best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great American can be. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today.
Celebrate responsibly.
We call ourselves ASAP Travel for one reason. We can help you book a ticket ASAP. For those of you that don't know, that means as soon as possible. That means no wait time. You get through right away. No searching online. Our specialty is the lowest available fares on the big name airlines. You know them. We can't tell you their names. You can fly domestically or internationally and save more money than you could if you call the airlines directly. Our proprietary software goes underneath the hood of the major airline booking systems and finds you the best rates available. So if you're ready to make your travel plans right now, business or vacation travel, we have all the major airlines, always at great rates. Call ASAP Trips and we'll have your ticket in your inbox in 15 minutes. Call this number now.
800-364-2984. 800-364-2984. 800-364-2984. That's 800-364-2984.
Come again? You know I don't speak Spanish. In English, please.
Rick Tittle beats his servants.
All right, thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's our pleasure now to be joined on the show by filmmaker Ron Jing. She has a brand new movie, a short film entitled Imprint, which will be making its world premiere at Tribeca Film Festival there in Manhattan. And Ron joins us right now. Ron, it's one thing to make a film and have other people like it. How about getting into Tribeca? Is that almost surreal?
Hi, Rick. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, definitely. I also live and work in New York for 10 years, so this is such a good reason for me to go back home. I always feel like New York is sort of like my home, so definitely very, very exciting. I'm so looking forward to see other filmmakers film as well over there.
What is the whole thing behind short films? I'm always fascinated because I kind of think filmmakers usually have a feature in mind, and then when it turns out, it's like, you know what, 17 minutes is just right. Like, how does that all work?
Yeah, that's such a great question because I feel like short film, sometimes it is harder than feature in a sense because you don't really get the feature leverage of the crew, the time, the budget. And then for short film, I specifically made Imprint because it is a metaphor, so I think the subject matter do fit short film better than a feature film. If it is a feature film, the subject need to be explored. There are so many holes and you fill it. But as a short, I feel like as an emotional hit, it works. So there is a difference in storytelling between short and feature for sure.
All right, let's take a look at the plot because it's the near future. And knowledge is traded like currency, which sounds like it's a bad idea. So tell us a little more, please.
Yeah, definitely. So the short is based on the concept that imagine your body is a hard drive. You can upload and download knowledge. So people sort of start buying knowledge for the kid to get ahead. And this middle-class mom, so she is afraid of falling behind class, especially for her kid, to lose the comfort that she has. And she buy the surgery for her kid to get ahead. But then something went wrong during the surgery. So she has to venture all the way through the mystery to find out like what is wrong. And then there's a review, and then the review is related to immigrant matter. If for spoilers, the review is a lot of the knowledge are purchased or harvested from the illegal immigrants who can buy knowledge in exchange for their green card. So a lot of trauma tied to how they learn the knowledge as well. And then that trauma got transferred to the kid.
By the way, this film will be on the 6th of June, D-Day, at 8:15 p.m. at the Shorts Theater at Spring Studios. So what is it like with the collaboration? I almost feel like it's a fraternity or sorority where like you're now in the club and you get to go backstage in these little tea meetings and gatherings. What's it like to be with all those other great filmmakers?
I am so looking forward to meeting everyone. I think there's a few international filmmakers in my blog as well. My blog is called The Dark Web. So they programmed shorts with sci-fi elements and then this sort of like near future setting all in my blog. And they actually did a West Coast gathering a couple of weeks ago in LA. So I met some of the filmmakers already. Everyone is super talented, coming from different backgrounds. So I'm definitely very much looking forward to socializing with people. And also at Tribeca, they have this the Story Summit. They invite a lot of panelists and talks to share behind-the-scene process. So those are the panels I'm very looking forward to go to listen to other people's process as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a very busy week.
Yeah, I bet you're a fan of Black Mirror, aren't you?
For sure, yeah, definitely.
Like right down your street. So this film, I mean, you've basically finished it a year ago. What's it like to, not so much shop it around, but to try to get eyeballs in it? It's a long process, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. We made the film through a program American Film Institute had. It's called Directing Workshop for Women. So the program itself, I think they help promote the filmmaker. And also we were finishing up the film like the end of year last year, and then we're all trying to get the festival run this year. So I think even from fundraising, we are start posting the website news about the film and then trying to gather the funding ourselves, and then all of those already start raising awareness a little bit. But definitely Tribeca is a big step for sure.
So do you find yourself stylistically, because we're all products of our influences and mentors, do you find yourself maybe after the fact thinking, oh, wow, I see a little bit of this director or that director in my own style?
Yeah, for sure, because imprint specifically, I think personally I love films that, using genre to rob like a heavy subject matter. If I tell an immigrant story being exploited, then it would be a very, very heavy drama. But if you wrap it in a sci-fi setting, it's still entertaining. People still get into it. I think there's not only film, there's also a lot of book influence. Like Flex Ing is like, I'm a huge fan of hers. And then Our Missing Heart, and then a lot of things she write. I think that's definitely influenced my storytelling. And then film-wise, I think there are just so many. I can name like a long list. I think Guillermo del Toro, for sure, that's the first one, because like he always used genre and then tell this like kind of metaphor with such like a strong message. And also like square films like that. Those are very modern and lean, but also tackling like a human condition subject matter. I think all of those are definitely influenced behind like where I am as a storyteller today.
And this film stars Ren Schmidt, who's so versatile, and of course was just in Nuremberg as well. I mean, what a great get, huh?
Thank you. Yeah, I was very surprised she said yes to the show.
What's next then? Is it, because I know sometimes short films, they like, well, make it 90 minutes, make it 2 hours and re-release it. Or are you already on to the next thing? Is the next thing already in the can?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I am writing Imprint as a TV pilot right now, and I also have 2 other feature films, which are psychological horror, so it's also genre, but explore like immigrant matters. They are already finished script. Right now, my manager is helping me shop them around.
Last question for you. When you direct something, that's great. When you write something, that's great. But when you're a writer-director, it's your baby. And so what about the pressure of that? Because if it fails, luckily it didn't, it's at Tribeca, but if it fails, it's completely your failure. Like, did you ever feel any of that pressure?
Yes and no. I feel like having that pressure, in a way, it is healthy, because like for me, I don't mind failure. I think failure is a step moving forward. For film, it's like a never-ending learning curve. I think for me, every film is to learn one aspect of filmmaking. For Imprint specifically, I want to test out genre. And then if I fail, then for sure it's a lot of pressure, it's a lot of money, so many people's like efforts going into it. But even from failure, there are so much to learn from it, just like why it didn't achieve where you want it to go. Is it because anything goes wrong or anything that I can do better next time. So even that is very valuable. I would carry like all of those into the next film, and then hopefully that will get to where I want it to be. And also it is such like a collaborative process. I feel like with a group that know you and then you're comfortable collaborating with them, it definitely protects you in so many ways.
Well, everybody should check out the world premiere at Tribeca, as I mentioned, 6/6/26, 8:15 p.m. at the Shorts Theater at Springs Studios, all part of Tribeca. And we have been speaking with Ron Jing, the filmmaker, the writer, and director. It is called Imprint. Ron, thank you so much for coming on the show, and congratulations.
Thank you so much for having me. So great talking to you. Thank you.
All right, good stuff. It was our pleasure. And, you know, I can think a summer in New York City going to this film festival, as much as everybody loves Sundance and, you know, Park City is nice, and Park City has expensive restaurants and stuff, I'd rather go to Tribeca. Now, if you do want to send me to Sundance for free, I'll go there too, but pretty cool. All right, we will take a break, and we will come on back with Ken Henderson on the other side.
What's that on that beat, ho? I'm different, yeah, I'm different. I'm different, yeah, I'm different. I'm different, yeah, I'm different. Pull up to the scene with my ceiling missing. Pull up to the scene with my ceiling missing. Pull up to the scene with my ceiling missing. Pull up to the scene with my ceiling missing. Middle finger up to my competition.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed. And everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back end. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
I'm holding in my hand the American Silver Eagle dollar. It's a beautiful piece of American history, and it's 1 ounce of silver. Originally minted in 1986, these coins are a beautiful classic piece of American history, and they're a great investment you should add to your portfolio. The beauty of silver is that however much you have available to invest, silver is affordable and easy to acquire, with one coin costing around $30. So, if you choose to invest a few thousand in silver, you can get quite a bit for your money, and you'll have a tangible asset that you can hold, one you can be proud to own. Claim your piece of American history with American Silver Eagle dollars. Call the Silver Hotline right now.
800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. That's 800-620-1624.
Do you have diabetes? I'm sure you've seen the television commercials on the new CGM devices from all the top brands, and how well they can help you manage your diabetes. Do you have the latest and newest in diabetes technology? The Diabetes Solutions Center carries most of the top brands, and the great news is, your insurance may cover most of the cost. Call our special CGM hotline today, and our friendly representatives will help see if you qualify. You could get a new CGM from the top brands at little or no cost to you. Make living with diabetes easier. You are just one free phone call away to learn if your insurance covers the cost. So make this free call today to the Diabetes Solutions Center and learn for free how to get your new continuous glucose monitor.
800-520-8629. 800-520-8629. 800-520-8629. That's 800-520-8629.
What you gonna do with all that junk inside my trunk? My hump, my lovely lady hump.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means. It's provocative.
No, it's not. It's
Gets people going.
Rick Tittle's got a black belt in keeping it real.
All right, thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. 1-800-878-PLAY. We're waiting on our guest, and I was just thinking about the it factor and how you need to get lucky in Hollywood. And I bring that up because I mentioned that Ren Schmidt is the I know it's a name that doesn't resonate with a lot of people. It's not a big name. If you saw her face, you'd probably recognize her. She's a lovely, redheaded young actress. I don't know. She's probably 32, whatever. I don't know. But I remember when I interview a lot of actresses and actors, and especially with actresses, when I'll look up like a picture to put her on the web, and I don't, a lot of times there's bikini shots, and I don't want to do that because then I look like a perv. So I try to get something where they look really nice, and just, usually they all have beautiful eyes, and then actors too. I try not to get like a beefcake shot, but just like a nice picture of them. I don't want to offend them. I want people to be like, oh yeah, I know him, I know her. But I bring it up for the it factor because there was one time I saw Ren Schmidt because I was looking up an actress, and it was basically this company, a casting agency, and there's lots of them, that said, oh, you want a 5'8", slim, Irish, whatever, Nordic-looking redhead with green eyes? Well, here's Ren Schmidt, and here's 40 like her. And then there were 40 other actresses that looked different, but barely different. And so then what do you need? First of all, you need luck. Maybe it's someone recommending you. Maybe it's somebody that you know that can get you in the door. Then you need talent. Not gone are the days where you can finagle your way to the top one way or the other. But those days are mostly over. And so then it's like, it's like Amy Adams when she delivers a line. You're like, holy crap. But I'm sure there are 50 girls that look exactly like Amy Adams, and they deliver the same line, and it's okay. It's okay. It's pretty good. But just that extra wham. Because if you look at Ren Schmidt, you'd just say, oh, she's very pretty. But you wouldn't be like, oh, my gosh. No, it's the acting. Maybe it's the dancing. Maybe it's the singing. But it's harder for actresses because if you're a comedian, you can be ugly. If you're a singer, you can be ugly. But if you are an actress, sometimes you can be ugly, but guess what? You got to play all the ugly parts. Usually. I know Hollywood's getting a little bit, they're starting to change, but it's just, because I remember I've told this story before. I saw an interview with Ryan Gosling, and he said that he was at an audition, and he went into the room, and he said there were 15 guys that looked exactly like me, kind of like what I was saying. He said, I did the audition where you had to cry. He goes, I left it all on the floor. And then he found out later that Jared Leto was already promised the part, and they just had to do this as a machination. It's just like, well, it's sort of like the Rooney Rule. We already know the white guy we're going to hire, but we got to interview people of color. And it's like, oh, well, then why are we doing this? What is it about? What is compelling? And it's just that sometimes it is that je ne sais quoi. And then other times, and I'm sure you have actresses and actors in your mind, like, how did they get there? I don't see it. I don't see it. And believe me, there are plenty of people like, how did Rick Tittle get on the radio? What is going on? I got a couple of those texts at KMBR the other day. How did this guy ever get on the radio? And that's fine. You can't resonate with everybody, And so anyway, it was just killing some time, but looks like our guest is he flaking? We have no other openings. All right, whatever. Maybe we'll do it another day. All right, now when you go, get back to sports now. Thanks, Rick. No, I want to do another hour on the It Factor. Susie Quattro said, "Don't ever apologize for having it." And that's because she was in a band with her sister. She was this cute little 5'2" brunette on a bass guitar that was bigger than she was. And then she had 4 super tall blonde sisters, and she was in a band. And this British talent agent saw the band and was like, "I want to take you to England." And they all went, "Yay." And they went, "No, just her." And then all her sisters hated on her. How do I know that? Because she was on my show and they did a doc about it. And the guy was like, "You guys are talented, but you don't have it. Little Susie there, she has it." Leather Tuscadero. All right. Getting back to going on podcasts. And believe me, I feel like I'm talking to no one outside of Bailey on the other side of the glass right now. Which happens. And then you realize, a lot of people at least have the opportunity to hear me. And not just live, but to hear me later. So you got to be very careful what you say on these podcasts. And Milwaukee Bucks center Miles Turner was on a podcast called Game Recognize Game. Not Recognizes. Game Recognizes Game. And he gave us some pretty interesting behind-the-scenes intel about the Milwaukee Bucks dysfunction. And he specifically called out Doc Rivers and Giannis Antetokounmpo. So it was kind of a rapid-fire question segment. And Breanna Stewart of the New York Liberty was talking to Miles Turner, and she brought up the fact that the coach of the Liberty, Chris DeMarco, who just came over from Golden State, he was long-term Steve Kerr assistant and did the summer league team. He says $25 penalties for missed free throw box outs. In other words, the opposing team gets to stand closest to the bucket, and if you don't block your guy out, or a woman, I should say, in the WNBA, it's $25. So she asked, "Hey, do you guys get fined in the NBA?" Now, Turner, it's good. He said, quote, "Well, it depends on the coach. Doc Rivers, he didn't fine anybody, ever. Guys were late all the time. Guys were showing up to film whenever they wanted to show up. Guys were missing meetings. It was one of the craziest things I've personally ever experienced. But any other team I've been on, guys got fined. And there was a sense of order and a sense of understanding. You're late to the plane? Fine. You're late to the treatment? Fine. You're late to film? Fine. But I personally did not experience that last year for the first time in my career. So we'll see what Taylor Jenkins does, our new coach." Now, when he was saying fine, he meant a monetary punishment fine. So Breanna Stewart said, "Well, what teammate is most likely to be late?" And he called her bro. He said, quote, "Bro, we literally, if the plane took off 2:00, we weren't leaving until 4:30. I'm being so serious, bro. It was crazy. Guys were hours late to the plane. It got to the point where I just knew not to show up until like an hour after they said the plane was taking off. It was crazy. But that's easy. Giannis is going to show up whenever he wants, really. I think it kind of just came with the territory. And once I saw that was going down, I was like, hey, man, more power to you. They ain't going to fine you. Do what you do. Well, we know that the Bucks sucked last year. And Giannis was hurt. He only played 36 games. He had the calf strains and other stuff. Missed the playoffs for the first time in 10 years. They weren't a contender at any point. But when Giannis was healthy, they were still 2 games under, 17 and 19. the 10th worst record in the league. So there was clearly a disconnect between drivers and the players. Players skipping meetings and showing up late to film and never being held accountable. The Bucks were 26 in defense. They were 25th in turnover rate. 15.4%. 15 out of 100 times you inbound the ball, you're going to over. That's horrible. So this is the first time we've heard these specific anecdotes, and you got me banned from Hop Sings. He named names. Now, we know that things were toxic and bad vibes, and people were letting that pass, but no one really takes shots at the Greek Freak, right? 13 years with the Bucks. No one has ever publicly called him out. It's nuts. All right. Rick Tittle back with you, coast to coast and around the world. We have 3 minutes with our guest. We have found him. It is Ken Henderson of REAF, R-E-A-F. It's a great cause, and he's here to talk about One Night Only, Monday, June 15th, 7:30 p.m. Fantastic Marines Memorial Theater, of which I'm a member, over on Sutter Street. It is a benefit cabaret featuring cast members from the Broadway touring cast of Phantom of the Opera. And Ken, you got Lisa Vroman. How did you do that?
Well, Lisa, as you remember, starred as Christine in Phantom of the Opera almost 30 years ago. The version had played at San Francisco for 5 years. She's back in the new touring cast, not as Christine, 30 years later. She's playing Madame Geary. But she's so excited to be coming back to San Francisco. She's going to be our mistress of ceremonies. She's actually helping put the whole show together with their cast. You know, all the leads, everybody. It's going to be a phenomenal, crazy little night.
And tell us about REAF and what they do, please.
Well, we produce entertainment events to raise money for HIV services, hunger programs, and programs that benefit underserved youth and seniors. We do this primarily production of entertainment events. We've been doing this for 32 years now. Big concerts and galas, cabaret nights, big and small, all kinds of things just to raise money to support, you know, all the local service, direct service agencies that drum up money. You know, they're struggling these days because all the things that are happening politically and all the funding has been pulled back. It's so important to support these causes, and this is a really fun way to do it.
I'm coming to this. I am a, not closeted, I am very open Phantom fan. Absolutely. Michael Crawford was my guy.
Oh, it's one of the most amazing shows that's been around forever now, but it hasn't been in San Francisco for a number of years.
And
So
by the way,
exciting.
let me interrupt you real quick because I've seen it in London, New York, and San Francisco, and San Francisco's Davis Gaines was the best I saw.
Davis did it in San Francisco. Frank D'Ambrosio did it a lot longer than Davis because Davis moved to L.A. and did it down there. You know, Lisa started as Christine in San Francisco, L.A., and then went to Broadway. So she did this for a lot of years. It's in her blood.
Yeah, we've had her on the show before. All right, tickets at eventbrite.com. I'm going. One night only. Phantom Sings, a benefit cabaret for REAF, R-E-A-F, at the Marines Memorial Theater. A great establishment, very patriotic downstairs, a lot of Marine stuff. Yeah, United States Marines. June 15th at 7:30 p.m. Ken Henderson, thanks for coming on, man. We'll see you there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'm Rick Tittle. Get him in, get him out on Sports Byline.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed. And everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back end. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Get a lot of calls from people across the country who are suffering from the affliction of IRS tax debt. Hi, I'm the tax doctor. Call me right now. My team specializes in helping people over the age of 50 solve their tax problems. And the bigger your tax problem is, the more money you can save. If you owe the IRS money, or you're about to owe the IRS money, or even if you need to file years of unfiled returns, call us right now. Our friendly trained representatives are waiting right now to take your. Over the years, we've helped thousands of people just like you stop the tax liens, wage garnishment, and harassing phone calls. You don't need to send the IRS a big fat check. We can negotiate a lower amount. That's what we guarantee for you. So call us right now.
603-9359. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359.
I am an American veteran. I'm proud to have served this country. Helping veterans is something all Americans can participate in, and it's as simple as donating an old car that you have sitting around. When you call the Veteran Car Donation Program, they'll explain how the program works, and then arrange a time they can come and pick up your vehicle for free. Running it doesn't matter. They take cars, trucks, motorcycles, or vans. Show your support by donating your and get a tax deduction in the process. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program right now. They'll come and pick your car up for free, and you'll get a tax deduction in the process. Call the number we're about to give you right now. Thank you, and God bless America.
800-1097. 887-1097. 800-887-1097. That's 887-1097.
Just go ask your mama. Hey, your mama is in here.
Rick Tittle's got a black belt in keeping it real.
Thank you for that. And just real quick, we have a minute, and I won't say the name because I don't want to get the guy in trouble, but somebody once told me, and it wasn't the A's or the Giants, but the plane, I was just thinking about Giannis coming away for the plane. It was an MLB team on the road, and they were trying to take off. They were on the tarmac, and everybody was on except one guy. And they're like, where is he? Where is he? And he's like, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Don't take off. Don't take off. And so they're all waiting there. And the cab, like going miles per hour, pulls up. And the guy gets out of the cab. You talk about lack of shame. The guy gets out of the cab on the tarmac. He's running to the plane. He's wearing dress pants, dress shoes, and no shirt. Leave now. Where's my shirt? F it. That's one of my favorite stories. Dress pants, dress shoes, and shirtless. Life of a professional athlete. Don't be jelly. I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back for hours 2 and 3. Jim Plunkett and Gary Sinise coming up.
Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning. College football is kicking around a 24-team playoff. A 24-team college football playoff. Back in February, the Big Ten Conference put forward the idea, and since then, the Big 12 Conference, Atlantic Coast Conference, and Notre Dame have all jumped on board with it, as has Fox, which is currently shut out of airing the college football playoff. Against it, is currently the sole rights holder of the playoffs, and the Southeast Conference, led by Commissioner Greg Sankey, resisted the idea and prefers that expansion at 16 teams. But cracks have started from there too, with coaches from several schools, including Kirby Smart of Georgia and Josh Heupel of Tennessee, publicly supporting the dramatic expansion. For the game's bottom line, it would be a massive success due purely for the television money that will come off the first deal. Not sure about the rest of it. Positives? In my eyes, the elimination of the bowl system as well as the conference title game sure is. That's about it. Surely coaches are looking at this as a way to provide themselves more job security, increasingly more volatile environment, but it won't. Do you think that any Alabama boost cares about making a 24-team playoff? They won a national championship every year, period. Same goes for LSU, Ohio State, Texas, and many more. A coach may buy himself a little time making the playoffs, but as we've seen in every other sport, after a while just getting there isn't enough. Also, under the proposal, the same number of non-Power 4 teams would make it 1. So when ACC Commissioner Phillips says that 24 teams would provide hope, he means ACC schools. Last December, less than 5 million people watched Oregon defeat James Madison and 7 million watched Ole Miss defeat Tulane against competition from the NFL. I don't believe for a second that first-round games like BYU-Houston, which could have happened this season if there were 24 teams, would have done much better. And I guess if you want variety with how you watch, you'll be happy. It'll offer the opportunity for more streaming services, especially those shut out of the NFL, to throw some money around. Of course, that also means a fan is going to have to come off more money to watch said games, just like you do for the NFL. And I love a good Cinderella story. Sports fans will gravitate towards a situational aberration, but it also won't take them or the blue blood programs long to lose interest if the oddity becomes the norm. Have a couple years of big underdogs going on big runs. LDL too long didn't. Expanding to a ridiculous number of college football playoff teams like 24 doesn't just increase the certainty that qualified teams will make it, it absolutely guarantees that teams who shouldn't be there at all will be as well. I'm Mike Sempervive.
Have you been daydreaming about losing for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Soccer season rolls on here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. This is Tyler Levine, host of First Touch, the premier weekly global soccer show across the entire Sports Byline broadcast, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Simple Radio, and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. We're talking English Premier League, Champions League, our picks of the week, and a whole lot more. First Touch on Sports Byline USA Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern. See you there.
Getting together with friends to watch the game? Then you'll need American Premium Vodka. Handcrafted and pure, this is the one thing all Americans can agree on. Founder Mark Gus Scott chose the finest natural elements America has to offer, and you'll taste how great it is to be an American. Now available at GoPuff, Hy-Vee, and Fairway stores. American Premium Vodka. This is the America we need now. To AmericanPremiumVodka.com. Celebrate responsibly.
Question: how many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, busy days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busywork. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call, or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rick Tittle knows his sports.
I hate that guy.
I love that guy. Oh my gosh, he's so fine. Rick Tittle brings home the fries it up in a pan, and then he eats it.
Ricky T in the hizzle for shizzle, biznatch.
Thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio. Jim Plunkett scheduled to be on the show in a little over a half hour, and tweeted out a picture at Rick Tittle and Tittling Sports with Rick Tittle on Facebook. And when I see his picture, it just reminds me of that season. The Super Bowl's my age. We just had Super Bowl 97. No, I was 15 at Super Bowl 15, and back then, what the Raiders meant to me, the Oakland Raiders. I mean, I didn't have a favorite soccer team. I didn't have a favorite hockey team. The Warriors were pathetic. The A's were just getting out, or just getting into Billy Ball, but they weren't really doing outside of that. So the A's were fun, and I liked the rookie, Ricky Henderson, that was coming up. But the Raiders were everything in my sporting world. I mean, like, everything. I remember being in that hotel in Metairie, Louisiana, the morning before the game with my dad and my little brother. And I was thinking about the rookie, Matt Millen. And I told my dad in the cab going to the Superdome, by the way, the hostages are being released. Big day in America. I said, Matt Millen's going to go off. He's going to go off. My dad said, is that a good thing? And I said, yeah. It just reminds me of our colloquial. Now people would say, that linebacker is fire. That might be, no, I'm an old guy. That might be one of the dumbest things. Your pedicure is fire. Matt Millen's going to go off. He's going to go off, and he did. And the Raiders won. So Jim Plunkett, who's newly minted into the brand new Hispanic Football Hall of Fame as well. So we'll talk about, how about Ted Hendricks going in there? That's pretty crazy as well, because I didn't know he was Guatemalan. How about that? All right, 1-878 play. I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case, Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve the edge of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease. Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because the back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. appointments don't get confirmed, and everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back end. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Every champion has a team behind them. And for thousands of families without insurance, Christ Clinic is that team. At Christ Clinic in Katy, Texas, they provide high-quality, faith-based health care to people who can't afford it. Because everyone deserves a shot at health, no matter their income or insurance status. Their doctors, volunteers. Their mission, rooted in compassion. Their impact, over 10,000 patient visits every year and growing. But they can't do it without help from fans like you. If you ever cheered for a comeback story, this is your chance to be a part of one. Donate today at ChristClinicKaty.org and help them keep the doors open for those who need it most. One gift can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Christ Clinic in Katy, where health meets hope and faith goes to work. That's Christ Clinic Katy, spelled Katy.org. Team up with them today.
Hour 2 of titillating sports. You thought it couldn't get any better, but it's better. Rick Tittle is back. He's so great. I can't believe how awesome he is. More sports talk, yes. Couldn't get any better, but it's better. Rick Tittle is back. He's so great. I can't believe how awesome he is. More sports talk, yes. Hour 2 of titillating sports.
Hey, check out Channel 9. Check out Rick Tittle.
All right, thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you, coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's great to bring in a bird of my own feather, a nationally syndicated radio host, but he's done so much more as a movie producer and all the things that he did in Hollywood and New York City back in the day. And now he has written his first book about it's like a memoir. It's called Try Not to Hold It Against Me. It's Julian Schlossberg. Julian, welcome to the show. When did you decide that you wanted to take pen to paper?
Well, I think COVID decided it for me. I just couldn't produce. I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do. Everybody was shut down, as you remember. And, Rick, I have to tell you, all my life, I'm sure you've had this too. People, you go to dinner parties and you tell a story or two. Oh, you should write a book. You should write a book. So I would always say what I'm sure you said. Oh, sure, I will one day. You know. Well, that day came. I decided, well, okay, let me see if I can write a chapter or two, and that's what happened. In fact, what was rather interesting, after the first book was written, I went on a lot of shows and talked about it, and people asked me questions, and I realized I had a second book. So I put out a second book now, which is called my first book, Part 2.
Pretty good.
And so that's what's happened. I have two books out, and I recorded both of them. So I did the audio books on both. You know, you sometimes hear audio books read, and you think, gee, why would they let this guy read that book? You know, at least in my case, I wanted to make sure whatever enthusiasm I had would be on the tape, you know.
Absolutely. Well, you know, when you write a book like this, and as you say, we have stories, and a lot of them sometimes don't put people in a good light. So I would imagine with a title like yours, you did tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Well, I can't say I did that. That would be kind. You're very kind, Rick. I have to say it didn't work that way. But it is true. When you write a book or a memoir, I'm sure you would do that one day, you kind of decide that you're going to write about the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, you do it all. But I did hold back. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I just didn't want to do that. There's plenty of stories that, you know, you don't need. But people who reviewed the book said he's never mean-spirited, but he's very dishy.
So you'll get into the gossip.
Yeah, well, I did that. I mean, because, there's so much stuff that people are interested behind the scenes, and having worked with the great comic people I've worked with, representing Mike Nichols and Elaine May, Woody Allen, and Larry Gelbart and Neil Simon. I mean, these are the great comic people, Sid Caesar, that I grew up with. To end up to be their producers, all I wanted to do as a kid was meet them. And ended up producing for them. That was kind of exciting for me.
That's amazing. So when you were the vice president of Paramount, because I just saw that miniseries where Miles Teller plays Albert Ruddy, and just how the fight with Bob Evans and the Austrian guy and the mafia, and I mean
that's Charlie Bluthorn.
That was all true.
Well, I don't think everything, Rick, is all true in life. It's in the eye of the beholder often. But yes, a lot of it is true, and I will say that. And as I wrote in the book, the two worst years of my life in the business was working at Paramount. But it wouldn't be indigenous to Paramount. It would be any studio, because the studio system is a big corporate setup, and the real goal there is to perpetuate your power. That seems to be the most important thing, perpetuate your power. But my boss was a fellow named Barry Diller. He's become public, and he's very successful. And he one day said to me, I don't understand it. Why do you want to leave? And I said, because I'm not enjoying myself. I like to be happy. I want to be a happy guy. He said, well, tell me exactly what it is. I said, okay, I'm diametrically opposed to everything you do here. And he said to me, you're diametrically opposed? I think he could handle opposed, Rick, but not diametrically.
Well, just getting back to Woody, because, growing up, Played Against Sam and Sleeper and all those great movies I grew up with were so great. Annie Hall, obviously. But you'd always see also in the credits, it was Jack Rollins, Charles H. Jaffe. I mean, it was a little cabal there. They had their thing, didn't they?
Well, it was very important to Woody to recognize that those were the guys that believed in him when he was nobody. And they stuck by him, and he wanted to make sure he repaid them. They had nothing to do with the movies, nothing.
Wow.
But that's one of the major problems that I face in the movie business, the theater. You've got people listed as producers who couldn't produce a paper bag, but they wrote a check, or they're the mistress of the star.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a joke now. You see 17, 15 producers. A real producer, a lead producer, which I've been, a real producer finds the property, hires the director, works with the writer and the director, gets involved in the casting, and gets really in. The main purpose is to sell the movie, the marketing and the selling of the motion picture. It's a very, very exhausting job if you take it seriously. And I did. I did over 60 productions.
What is your favorite one? Maybe it's not even the most, gross the most money, but what are maybe one or two of your favorites?
Well, I think I did. I worked with Woody and a woman named Susan Stroman. Susan Stroman had 6 Tonys on Broadway. She directed and choreographed the original producers, and we did a musical called Bullets Over Broadway. And that, you look back, Rick, when you do a production, you watch the film, you watch it on television, and you say, "Oh, that didn't work. I knew I should have said something." But not with Bullets. Bullets Over Broadway. That musical that was up on that stage at the St. James was a musical and vision that I wanted, and I'm wildly proud of it. But the timing wasn't great, and so it didn't happen the way I would have liked it. It got wonderful reviews, except for the Times, and the Times in New York is very important.
Now,
I used to know your neighborhood in San Francisco because I booked the movie theaters, the Stage Door, the Music Hall, the Larkin Bridge, and the Cannery. I don't know if any of them are still existent anymore. Are any of them around?
I think the Lark is, the Larkin. But I wish I had more time. I got time for one more question. Rob Reiner was in Bullets Over Broadway, as you know. Did you do his last interview before the tragedy?
I did do the last 2 interviews that he ever gave, very extensive. It's on my website. If you go to Facebook Movie Talk, Julian Schlossberg's Movie Talk on Facebook, we did 2 together. It was he was wonderful. I mean, those movies, A Few Good Men, and When Harry Met Sally, and Princess Bride, Spinal Tap, it doesn't get better than that, Rick. Those are some sensational commercial movies that he directed, and he was a warm, wonderful fellow, and I was very happy to have those 2 shows with him, where we discuss everything in his career, going behind the scenes, who gave him trouble, who was good, who wasn't. It was. I felt very good that we have those for posterity.
Well, I only have about 1,000 more questions, so everybody should check out JulianSchlossbergProducer.com for both books. Try not to hold it against me and my first. What is it? My first book, part 2.
Yes, that's right. My first book, part 2.
Right.
And since you enjoyed it, I'm ready tomorrow. Let's do it again.
All right, Julian. I love the enthusiasm. Congrats on the books.
Thank you, Rick. Have a good weekend.
All right, I'm Rick Tittle. We'll come on back and we'll do a little Preakness preview.
Strange ways coming today. I put $1 in my pocket and I threw it away. Been a long time since the federal dime made the jukebox sound like a mirror in my mind. To calm my worries, fix my thoughts, pull my hopes like a juggernaut.
This important consumer alert is from the Credit Repair Hotline, a national service designed to help people improve their credit scores. Are you paying high interest rates because of your credit rating? Wouldn't you like to be able to qualify for a better car loan or mortgage rate? Would lower monthly payments give you more financial flexibility? If you're finally ready to fix your credit problem, you need to call today and get a free consultation from the Credit Repair Hotline. In one fast and easy call, we can pull your credit rating and show you real solutions how to improve your credit. And again, this is part of a 100% free consultation. Learn how you can save money on everyday purchases by having a better credit rating. And it all starts with this free phone call right now.
800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. 800-413-6214. That's 800-413-6214.
My fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy the best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great American can be. We will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. The America we need right now. American Premium Vodka. Celebrate responsibly.
We call ourselves ASAP Travel for one reason. We can help you book a ticket ASAP. For those of you that don't know, that means as soon as possible. That means no wait time. You get through right away. No searching online. Our specialty is the lowest available fares on the big name airlines. You know them. We can't tell you their names. You can fly domestically or internationally and save more money than you could if you call the airlines directly. Our proprietary software goes underneath the hood of the major airline booking systems and finds you the best rates available. So if you're ready to make your travel plans right now, business or vacation travel, we have all the major airlines, always at great rates. Call ASAP Trips and we'll have your ticket in your inbox in 15 minutes. Call this number now.
800-364-2984. 800-364-2984. 800-364-2984. That's 800-364-2984.
What would you say you do here?
Well, look, I already told you.
I deal with the customers so the engineers don't have to. I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand it? What the hell is wrong with you people?
Rick Tittle will fight anyone listening to this.
Thank you for that, and welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. Well, the second leg of the Triple Crown is going down tomorrow, the Preakness Stakes, which has been going on over 100 years. And to talk about it is our friend from Pro Wagering, Carmine Marino. He knows the ponies. And Carmine, as we know, Golden Tempo will not run. Cherie DeVaux is to rest Golden Tempo, and some people say a fortnight is not long enough, so she's going to rest. But as we were talking about last week, I would think that if you have a fancy horse like this who somehow wins the Derby, what a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get a Triple Crown. But people don't think that way anymore, right?
Sadly, it's true. They don't think like that. And you know what's funny? Here's an animal who shouldn't have won the Derby that could possibly have pulled off the first two legs, because this is not a hard race to win, because there's no monsters in this race. Could you imagine? It could have had the first two legs, the value of the horse in.
Can you believe that here that you wanted Dan and Bourbon? We have found out he broke his kneecap went the race.
Yeah, I mean, he got bumped around pretty good, and he still ran a game fifth at those fractions, early fractions. I mean, I a great horse, and he ran like a great horse, and he didn't embarrass himself. So Japanese are knocking on the door. They're going to nail down a Derby one of these years.
All right, we know that the Preakness is getting worked on, so that we're going to move down a little bit to Laurel. And you always say horses for courses. Well, Taj Mahal, Brittany Russell's horse, is a Laurel horse. Has won 3 times there. Runaway winner of the Tessio Stakes. I don't know, hometown horse. What do you think about Taj Mahal?
Well, obviously you got to use the horse. The workout since that race are still blistering fast. Loves the track, has the speed to get in front. It could have a little company up front, but if he gets away free, it could steal the race. Sheldon Russell, for his wife, if he wants to eat that night, he better do a good job riding his horse. What can I say?
Is it a rule if you're a female trainer, you have to marry a jockey?
I wouldn't say that.
Well,
but in this particular case, it works out well.
It's both of them. It's Cherie and Brittany, right?
Yeah, but Cherie is not married to Jose Ortiz.
Not the one riding her horse, yeah. Now,
no, right.
One of the props, and I thought it was very cool that you, at the end of the Derby, the 2 jockeys grabbed hands, and I thought that was nice sportsmanship. And I'm like, oh, those are brothers. So, Irad and Jose, it's 25-1 to go 1-2 again. I don't know. I kind of feel like taking a punt on that.
So here's my suggestion. Look at the real odds of the race before you take the 25-1. It might be a better odds if you bet on the race, because I got to tell you something right now. I'm looking at the 5, and I'm actually looking at Jose Ortiz in this race. He happens to be on the 6, the 5-6 exacta. The 5 is 20-1. If they go 20-1 and 5 exacta, they'll pay someone in the vicinity of 175 to 80-1 for $1.
That's the other thing, too. Chip Poncho is getting a lot of love lately. Finished ahead of Golden Tempo's Risen Star Stakes, you might remember as well. But Asmussen, and Jose probably would like to have ridden Golden Tempo again, but next best thing, right?
You know, it is. It's funny because he rode the horse one time in the race, breaking his maiden back in November of last year. Asmussen's got a nice stable. His last race was definitely not good. He faded in the stretch because a lot of people thought this horse was going to be a top horse. He was actually 2-1. But before that, he's never run a bad race. You could say the Louisiana Derby was a bad race. It could have been a bad for him. We don't know. The horse that I really think is dangerous is his brother's horse, Irad, on Talking, the 5 horse. He's 20-1 morning line. He ran third to Further Ado. Everybody was talking about Further Ado. He ran 5th in his first start of the year against the Puma, and a lot of people thought the Puma was a very good horse. And he ran a game second to Napoleon Solo, closed nicely in his second career start. He threw one clinker in there in the Remsen in December. Who knows? But this horse could be a very interesting horse, especially at 21 or better.
So only 3 horses from the Derby are going to be going. Do you have new love for Oselli? I know a lot of people are jumping on Incredibolt. What about those 2?
It's interesting. I would take Incredibolt over Oselli because Incredibolt seems to be getting better with each start. When he won the Virginia Derby, it was a surprise, but he ran a very interesting race in the Kentucky Derby as well, running a game 6. And if you look at that race closely, he got altered, bumped, and he kept on running. He was 5 lengths. He was 9th at the top of the stretch, where Oselli at the time was 4th. No, excuse me, I apologize. I'll get there now. Was 2nd at the top of the stretch. So it's interesting to look at this. I think Incredibolt might be an interesting combination in the gimmick plays if you're going to look at a superfecta. And you're going to, if the horse is 5-1 or less, I like Raleigh Mott a lot, but I wouldn't play that horse if he's at shorter odds. I was hoping to get 8-9 to 1 in this horse. 5-1 or less to me is undervalued.
The sister for Irad and Jose is named Quinella. Maybe I should. No, I lied. That's not her name. But I would like Quinella.
That would be funny.
To do those 2. All right, now we haven't talked about Iron Honor. Hard to say. Iron Honor. That's a Chad Brown horse, and of course there's Flavien Prat. He knows what he's doing. So Iron Honor looks like that could be in the top 3 for sure.
He ran a terrible Wood Memorial. He went. He's a favorite in the race. His first 2 starts, he won. His first start of the year, which was about 2 months after he broke his maiden in December, he wins the Gotham by a length with no problem. I don't know what happened in the Wood Memorial. I thought he would win. I thought he was going to be a really good horse. He could rebound. You got Flavien. You can't go wrong. His workout pattern is solid going into this race. He's got blinkers off. So we will see if this horse reacts better with the blinkers off. This is a horse that I would look at with some consideration. If you can get 9-2 or better, which is possible, interesting. Anything under 7-2, I may look elsewhere.
Great White had that scratch at the gate, flipped over, and it's about as bad as it can get. But Great White is back in the race at 22-1, and normally maybe you wouldn't look at it. But after seeing what Golden Tempo did, should we take a closer look at Great White?
No. Save your money.
Okay.
If you want, give me it. I'll book your action because I'm going to tell you right now, this horse is not ready. This is a very young 3-year-old. Technically, he's more 2 than he is 3. Inexperienced. This horse is a monster-sized horse. I think this horse has got a great future, just not ready for that future. But I do have a surprise horse for you might like.
The hell we did.
No, the 3 horse.
What? That's one of the long shots.
30-1 morning line. Horse is getting better. Ran a tremendous race in his closing out Oaklawn. About 1 1/8 miles. His workout pattern is super coming into this race. This horse could actually be a player, and I love Junior Alvarado.
I love that because I'm looking at odds to finish last. Actually, even though Bull by the Horns is a 50-1, they have Kruper, I guess, finishing worse than Bull. So this one is your literal dark horse.
So you look at his 4 starts. He's run well, except but when I say well, his first 5 career starts, his buyer number, speed number, was not that powerful. But the last race he took a jump, and his workout pattern is good. Donnie Van Hemel is a dangerous trainer. He's a very good trainer. He doesn't want a lot of big races, but if he puts a horse into this race, he's ready. And I really like this horse in this spot.
Last 2 horses.
I'm not saying I'm going to put him in my gimmicks,
Yeah, sure, your combos. Last 2 horses we haven't talked about. Last 3, Robusta, Pretty Boy, Corona de Oro, the Gold Crown. Any of those move anything for you?
The one I'd be interested in is the 4-horse Robusta. This is a horse that ran really well in the San Felipe. Lost to Potente, which was a good horse, and beat So Happy that a lot of people thought would win the Derby. He came in, then his last 2 starts, he laid eggs. The question is, does he like the distance? And he really didn't make up any ground in a very slow second half of that race. Bumped at the start doesn't mean a thing. He just didn't maintain. He should have moved up a few spots, and he didn't. So I'm kind of wondering if O'Neill's taking a shot here. I don't like the horse, but, I mean, I would like him better than the other few.
The Preakness Stakes, not at Pimlico, at Laurel, about a half hour south, but it still has all the glory and going back nearly to the Civil War, this race. And, of course, we've been speaking with Pro Wagering's Carmine Marino. Carmine, have a great weekend. Thanks for your insights, buddy.
We'll catch you back next week.
All right.
Go Knicks.
There
Bye-bye.
it is. Go Knicks. Yes, he is a lifelong Knicks and Vikings fan. Huh? Yeah. You never know. My boy Zach, who I used to work with, he's from the Bay Area. He was A's, Suns, Dolphins. And my other friend Guru was Warriors, Pirates, Cowboys. You never know. It's a free country. Get on back.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, it's a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
My fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy the best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's time to show the world just how great American can be. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. America we need right now. American Premium Vodka. Celebrate responsibly.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed. And everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, AI voice and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back end. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Please let this nightmare stop! Please, I'm begging you to stop!
Snap! Rick Tittle invented FUBU.
All right, thank you for that. And just kill a little time before we get our guests, which is about to happen right now. And Rick Tittle back with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. And it's a great pleasure to welcome to the show one of my idols growing up, Jim Plunkett, who just had the great honor of being in the original class of the brand new Hispanic Football Hall of Fame, which is pretty cool, with some teammates as well. The class was Tom Fears, Tom Flores, Ted Hendricks, Anthony Munoz, Jim, Ron Rivera, Riverboat Ron out of Cal, and Steve Van Buren. Jim, welcome to the show. And I grew up Raider season ticket holder. The Super Bowl's my age. My dad, bless his heart, took me and my little brother to Super Bowl 15. I was there, and of all my life, I've been to everything in every sport. I've been very privileged. That day in 1981, that's still the greatest sports day of my life. How about you?
Well, it was certainly a struggle to get to my first Super Bowl. You know, it took a long time. I was 7 years in New England, 2 in San Francisco, and then I can't remember, second or third year with the Raiders, you got to the Super Bowl. It was a long struggle, but I'm glad I survived through all the shortcomings and the disappointments, and I was very so happy to finally get to a Super Bowl.
You know, when you came home to the Niners after Boston, I guess, drafted you as they were called back then, I remember
Right.
I think I was in the 8th grade when the Niners cut you, and I say we as Raider fans, we picked you up. And I remember I asked my dad, because I was 13, and I was like, why do we want Plunkett? The Niners are terrible, and they cut Plunkett, and my dad said, no, it's really smart to have a guy like that as a backup. And boy, was he smart when Pastorini broke his leg, and the rest is history. I mean, did you kind of think you were done when the Niners said hit the road?
Yeah, pretty much. I really was, depressed. I thought about, retiring, doing something else. I'd already bought in a business a couple of years before I was let go by the Niners, and I thought I'd start running the business instead of hiring somebody to do it for me. But my wife encouraged me, and then I got the call from the Raiders, and Tom Flores was the coach at the time, and another Hispanic, and you encouraged me to come out and try. If you want to give it an effort, well, come on out, and we'll give you a shot and see what happens.
You mentioned Coach Flores, such a great coach, obviously winning 2 Super Bowls with you. And I always liked, and I liked Madden too. It's the guy I grew up with. But Flores was more like, Landry, Walsh, Shula, very calm. And so when panic was happening, you'd look at him and it was kind of like, oh, he's not panicking. I guess we're all right, right?
Yeah, kind of. But, he never panicked. You couldn't tell, if he was panicked or not. It never showed up. But he became a great friend till he passed away a few years ago. And, I'm glad I was given that opportunity by Al Davis. After that, I was finally let go. But Niners, I thought about, giving it up, getting out of football and going to do something else. Actually, about 2 years before, I went into the beer business, but I was drinking my own profit, so I figured, what the hell, I'll give it a shot.
So, I always ask old Raiders this, and young Raiders, but who dealt with Al. Do you have? I mean, you have a million of them, but does an Al story, one of your favorites, kind of on the top of your head right now for us?
There's so many. Al never played the game. But he would study film. Half the day. Watching players, how they reacted on the football field. I think he embodied somebody who, maybe never played the game, but he studied like mad to see what it was. To see how much he can get out of watching film, and then he became a director and coach. He was a tremendous inspiration for me. Although he never played the game, he could tell you what you were doing right or wrong on the football field. It was a great partnership.
Yeah, people like to talk out like what a competitor he was, especially if you were on his wrong side. But just the way he immersed himself in people he cared about, like John Ritchie said, even after he left the Raiders, when he got married, Al sent him a wedding present. He hired his players like Willie Brown and Jack Tatum and Fred Biletnikoff. And Marcel Reese told me that Al said he watched the film that when Marcel was 16 years old in a slam dunk competition. Like he knew everything about everybody, didn't he?
Yeah, he certainly did. And he was, the guy never played a down of football, but yet he studied film. I don't know how many hours a day, but and it's really difficult for never having played the game to understand it. What's going on? Who's doing the right thing? Who's doing the wrong thing? But Al mastered it. He was great, and he'd come out to every practice. Most owners do not do that. They just sit back and let their coaches take over. But not Al. He was out there watching every practice, and he would comment on what he thought you were doing right or wrong. But he was an inspiration and very knowledgeable of the game of football, even though he hadn't played it.
I was surprised that Ted Hendricks got in because I didn't realize that his mom was from Guatemala. And you think about the Mad Stork, just as in that Super Bowl 15 outside backer like Rod Martin having 3 picks off of Jaws. Well, Ted had 26, and most impressive to me, no one will ever break his record of blocking 25 kicks. I mean, that's insane. But how cool is that to go in to Hall of Fame? You got like I said, Rivera's from Cal. You got teammates. You got your coach. I'm sure it kind of felt like a homecoming in a way.
Oh yeah, in many ways it certainly did. And nobody would ever think of Ted as being Hispanic. He's a big, tall, white guy. Can't speak Spanish, and yet he was such a great player. And he would, if somebody was lining up wrong in front of him on the defensive line, he would tell them to move over. He was very knowledgeable of the game. He studied so hard. He knew what when they lined up in a certain offensive alignment. He would move over because he knew where that play was going. He was great.
It's funny when you look at your stats at Stanford winning the Heisman. Nowadays you have to have 50 touchdown passes and less than 10 picks, or they won't even look at you. It's right. Crazy these days. But beating Thiesman, who changed his pronunciation to Theismann, he thought that would. I've talked to Joe about that. Archie Manning, I've also had on the show a few times, and at that time, groundbreaking, first Latino to win the Heisman, right?
Yes, and very proud of the fact that. My teammates, helped obviously get me there. It was great time in my life to experience all those things that were occurring to me here. I was a poor kid out of San Jose. Both my parents, my mother was totally blind, my father legally blind. I never thought I'd be able to accomplish the things I did. But, going to Stanford, sent me on my way, and I was very proud of the fact that I went there.
I think about, too, like me, like most Americans, I mean, you technically could be in the Irish or German or Native American.
Thank you very much, yes.
Well, Don Wakamatsu, the baseball manager, he's in the Irish American Sports Hall of Fame. So
really, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, on his mom's side there. So I grew up in Richmond in the East Bay, and you were down there. Did you graduate from Lick or Overfelt? Was it?
Lick. No, Lick. Yes.
Yeah.
My grandson's here helping me. But I started at Overfelt, wound up at James Lick. Al Sementina, really, I think, maybe a better quarterback.
And you played backer too, right?
I did. I figure I wanted, everybody was hitting me. I'd like to hit somebody else.
What is the and I played high school football in the late 70s and 80s, and our equipment was a little bit better. We finally got those Rydell helmets with the little sponges in them, but still, we didn't know about CTE, and we knew about concussions, but you were only supposed to go out a day if you had a concussion, and it was embarrassing to have a concussion. So, luckily, knock on wood, you seem fine, and we've seen like the great Jim Otto, what the toll it took on him with all the operations. So I guess my question is, how are you holding up, Jim?
Pretty good. Although I've had a lot of operations. I've had, let's see, both knees, cartilage, and then replaced. I've had both my knees replaced. I've had a left shoulder surgery, my back surgery. I've got my grandson. One of my grandsons here telling me what I have, and then, I have a neck. I've had so many surgeries, but I've bounced back pretty well from all of them, and I feel pretty good.
So then finally, getting back to the topic, the Hispanic Football Hall of Fame, of course, that was down there in Vegas just 10 days ago on the Cinco de Mayo, the Celebración de Fútbol. I mean, how cool is that that you've hung around long enough to get something like that? That's pretty cool here in America.
I think it is, and Hispanics, typically Hispanics weren't very tall, most of my family was short.
Yep.
Not too big, and but unfortunately, for some reason, I grew very tall, and that certainly helped me. But I always thought growing up I was going to be a baseball player because I love baseball. I played Little League, Middle League, you name it. But then I fell in love with football. I wanted to be. At first, I was a defensive linebacker. I said, screw this, I wanted to play quarterback, and I worked hard. I used to throw through a tire hanging from a tree to improve my passing, and it certainly worked out for me.
Heisman Trophy winner, Super Bowl MVP, and Hispanic Football Hall of Famer Jim Plunkett. Hey, Jim, it's great having you on, and as I told you, you were our guy for many years there in Oakland. We really appreciate all that you gave us. So congratulations, and hopefully we'll catch up down the road.
All right. Thank you very much for the call.
All right. I'm Rick Tittle. Let's take a quick break. We will come on back on Sports Byline.
It's more than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume their time and their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working cattle ranch. Care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work. Real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country have found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even weight management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. That's 800-219-2494.
Do you want to add a boost to your sex life this weekend? Do you want to make your partner and yourself happy? Then call our special hotline now. We'll sell you those little pills that work below the belt for less than $1 a pill and deliver your package in a few days, just in time for the weekend. Our pill delivers almost the same results as expensive pills for less than $1 a piece, and you don't need a prescription. And ask about their buy 3 get 3 free offer. What are you waiting for? Boost your sex life and have a great time now. Less than $1 a pill, discreet delivery in a few days, and a buy 3 get 3 free offer? Dial this number and save it now.
800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. That's 800-245-2751. Paid for by the pharmacy shop.
I'm holding in my hand the American Silver Eagle dollar. It's a beautiful piece of American history, and it's 1 ounce of silver. Originally minted in 1986, these coins are a beautiful classic piece of American history, and they're a great investment you should add to your portfolio. The beauty of silver is that however much you have available to invest, silver is affordable and easy to acquire, with 1 coin costing around $30. So, if you choose to invest a few thousand in silver, you can get quite a bit for your money. And you'll have a tangible asset that you can hold, one you can be proud to own. Claim your piece of American history with American Silver Eagle dollars. Call the Silver Hotline right now.
800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. That's 800-620-1624.
Maybe. Just maybe my boys can stop me from getting the book. Yeah. Maybe I'm a Chinese jet pilot.
I wish you would try and slap Rick Tittle's mama's face. He would clown you.
All right, thank you for that. Hour 3 coming up. Gary Sinise in 15 minutes. The San Francisco Giants have an investor named Greg Johnson who had given money to Republican candidates. In fact, one of them who dropped a lynch term, and everybody had a cow over it and said, and obviously that's a horrible thing to say, but people went to the extreme of saying, I'll never support the Giants again, because a candidate that you gave money to said that. Well, now they're saying the Giants have MAGA ownership because Joshua Kushner has bought a minority stake in the team. Joshua Kushner is not Trump's son-in-law. He's Trump's son-in-law's brother. And Joshua Kushner is a Democrat who gives money to Democratic candidates. But those are nuances that don't matter, because the lunatic fringe will say, Kushner, MAGA. So first of all, I've just pointed out that he's not his brother, and I think it's normal to assume they think the same, but then again, I don't think like my brother, so maybe it's not normal. But you hear the name, it's like you hear the name Trump, and you're like, Trump, and you're like, well, I don't think like Donald. Oh, you don't? Whether you're supporting or not, I just wonder now the people who will not go to Giants games anymore because the president's son-in-law's brother is a minority owner in the team, even though he's a Democrat. We'll see. I think it was a knee-jerk reaction, but who knows? I'm Rick Tittle. We got Gary Sinise, Pedro Fernandez, and Taylor Nichols in the studio. Come on.
I'm Mike Sempervive with the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network 2-minute warning. College football is kicking around a 24-team playoff. A 24-team college football playoff. Back in February, the Big Ten Conference put forward the idea, and since then, the Big 12 Conference, Atlantic Coast Conference, and Notre Dame have all jumped on board with it, as has Fox, which is currently shut out of airing the college football playoff. Against it are ESPN, who is currently the sole rights holder of the playoffs, and the Southeastern Conference, led by Commissioner Greg Sankey, who has resisted the idea and prefers that expansion stop at 16 teams. But cracks have started to form there too, with coaches from several schools, including Kirby Smart of Georgia and Josh Heupel of Tennessee, publicly supporting the dramatic expansion. For the game's bottom line, it would be a massive success due purely for the television money that will come off the first deal. Not sure about the rest of it. Positives? In my eyes, the elimination of the bowl system as well as the conference title game sure is. That's about it. Surely coaches are looking at this as a way to provide themselves more job security in an increasingly more volatile environment, but it won't. Do you think that any Alabama booster or fan cares about making a 24-team playoff? They won a national championship every year. Period. Same goes for LSU, Ohio State, Texas, and many more. A coach may buy himself a little time making the playoffs, but as we've seen in every other sport, after a while just getting there isn't enough. Also, under the proposal, the same number of non-Power 4 teams would make it 1. So when ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips says that 24 teams would provide hope, he means ACC schools. Last December, less than 5 million people watched Oregon defeat James Madison and 7 million watched Ole Miss defeat Tulane against competition from the NFL. I don't believe for a second that first-round games like BYU-Houston, which could have happened this season if there were 24 teams, would have done much better. And I guess if you want variety with how you watch, you'll be happy. It'll offer the opportunity for more streaming services, especially those shut out of the NFL, to throw some money around. Of course, that also means a fan is going to have to come off more money to watch said games, just like you do for the NFL. And I love a good Cinderella story. Sports fans will gravitate towards a situational aberration, but it also won't take them or the blue blood programs long to lose interest if the oddity becomes the norm and you have a couple years of big underdogs going on big runs. TLDL, too long, didn't listen. Expanding to a ridiculous number of college football playoff teams, like 24, doesn't just increase the certainty that qualified teams will make it, it absolutely guarantees that teams who shouldn't be there at all will be as well. I'm Mike Sempervive.
Have you been daydreaming about losing weight for years? Do you just yo-yo back and forth? At Innovative Wellness Center, we have a holistic weight loss program that allows you to lose up to 20 pounds in 30 days. People are losing weight like crazy and keeping it off. It can be done from anywhere in the United States. Go to our website at www.innovativewellness.center and schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Soccer season rolls on here on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. This is Tyler Levine, host of First Touch, the premier weekly global soccer show across the entire Sports Byline broadcast, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Simple Radio, and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. We're talking English Premier League, Champions League, our picks of the week, and a whole lot more. First Touch on Sports Byline USA Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern. See you there.
Getting together with friends to watch the game? Then you'll need American Premium Vodka. Handcrafted and pure, this is the one thing all Americans can agree on. Founder Mark Gus Scott chose the finest natural elements America has to offer, and you'll taste how great it is to be an American. Now available at Bevmo, GoPuff, Hy-Vee, and Fairway stores. American Premium Vodka. This is the America we need right now. Go to AmericanPremiumVodka.com. Celebrate responsibly.
Quick question. How many calls, texts, or messages does your business miss every week? Nights, weekends, busy days. That's lost money. Create Assistance helps businesses fix that problem using AI employees that answer calls, respond to texts, book appointments, and follow up with leads 24/7 automatically. No extra staff, no complicated software. Everything runs inside one simple command center that replaces scattered tools, missed follow-ups, and manual busywork. Whether you're a service business, office, or multi-location company, Create Assistance keeps your business responsive, organized, and running even when you're off the clock. Stop letting leads slip through the cracks. Visit createassistance.ai to book a free call, or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
Rick Tittle knows his sports.
I hate that guy.
I love that guy. Oh my gosh, he's so fine. Rick Tittle brings home the bacon, fries it up in a pan, and then he eats it.
Ricky T in the hizzle for shizzle, biznatch.
Welcome back to Hour 3. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast. Gary Sinise coming up next, and Pedro Fernando, boxing in studio, and then bike riding, Taylor Nichols in studio. Very weird, interesting situation going on with the championship in the playoffs in England for a Premier League slot. The top two get in automatically. 3, 4, 5, 6 play a playoff. And so next Saturday, they're supposed to have the final between Southampton and Hull City. Except that Southampton, and they're calling it this in England, Spygate. It was reported Middlesbrough, who Southampton beat in the semifinal, said that on May 7th, 2 days before their semifinal, they said Southampton had a spy in the bushes filming the practice. And so the English Football League charged Southampton with violating Regulation 3-4, which requires clubs to act in good faith with each other. And within 72 hours of the game, you're supposed to have nothing to do with that. And so now they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. So Middlesbrough today called their players back to practice just in case Southampton gets kicked out, and then Borough will then play Hull in the final. I mean, you thought you were getting on a plane, and the girlfriends and wives. We're going to Ibiza, Marbella, Canary Islands. Wait. Hold on. We might be playing in the final now. This is to get to the Premier League. So this is a really big deal, and I'll be interested to see what they decide with Southampton. I mean, what do they do? Do they let them play? Do they let Tim smoke? I don't know. 1-800-878-PLAY, TuneIn app, iHeartRadio app, Stitcher app, and Twitch.tv and YouTube.tv. CRN, Digital, +2, the Cable Radio Network, Channel 2. On your cable provider, and American Forces Radio Network worldwide. Call me up, 1-800-878-PLAY. Email me, rick@sportsbyline.com, as we stream through sportsbyline.com. And you can also catch me on Twitter at Rick Tittle and Tittling Sports with Rick Tittle. Gary Sinise, come on back.
I am an American veteran. I'm proud to have served this country. Helping veterans is something all Americans can participate in, and it's as simple as donating an old car that you have sitting around. When you call the Veteran Car Donation Program, they'll explain how their program works, and then arrange a time they can come and pick up the vehicle for free. Running or not, it doesn't matter. Take cars, trucks, motorcycles, or vans. Show your support by donating your car and get a tax deduction in the process. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program right now. They'll come and pick your car up for free, and you'll get a tax deduction in the process. Call the number we're about to give you right now. Thank you, and God bless America.
800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. That's 800-887-1097.
Sometimes life changes, and the house you once loved becomes a burden. Too many repairs, too many memories, too much to handle on your own. If you'd like to sell your home fast, we can help. At the Home Buyers Hotline, we can help you sell your home as is. No cleaning, no showings, and there are absolutely no hidden fees or real estate commissions. We'll pay you a fair price for your home in cash. Whether you're downsizing, handling an estate, or just ready for peace of mind, call us. We'll help you walk away from your problem property in no time at all and get you the cash in your bank account with little hassles. If you'd like to sell your home fast, as is, we can help at the Home Buyers Hotline.
Call Want to Sell Your Home now for a free quote to sell your home in any condition. Call 800-950-3143. 800-950-3143. That's 800-950-3143.
Let's be honest. Most businesses don't struggle because demand is low. They struggle because their back end can't handle growth. Leads come in, but follow-up is slow. Calls get missed. Appointments don't get confirmed. And everything lives in different places. So even when marketing works, revenue doesn't scale. That's a systems problem. Create Assistance fixes this by building a done-for-you CRM and automation system that captures every lead, follows up automatically, confirms appointments, and keeps everything organized in one place. And only after that foundation is built, Live and chat employees get added on. If your business feels chaotic behind the scenes, it's time to fix the back end. Visit createassistance.ai and book your call today. Or you can call or text 515-500-2224. Again, that's 515-500-2224. We look forward to hearing from you.
All right, welcome back to the show. Rick Tittle with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. It's our pleasure to welcome back to the show award-winning actor and philanthropist and musician Gary Sinise. And he is here to talk about some of that compelling music from his late son, Mac, Resurrection and Revival, Part 3, honoring our nation's heroes, and of course part of the Gary Sinise Foundation as well. Gary, welcome back to the show. Tell us a little bit more about the new release, please.
Thanks so much for having me, Rick. I appreciate it. What you just heard there is just the first little bit of a piece on a new album, the third album of my son's music called Resurrection and Revival Part 3, and that piece is called Triumphant. And what you heard there was the melody that I found in my son's laptop that he was working on. And if you would have played into that a bit, we used the original melody that I found, him playing the piano on the melody on the piano, and then it goes into an orchestral version of the same thing that we expanded upon. So that was just a little taste of the melody, and there's a full-on orchestral version that follows that little piano melody, all based on music that I found in my son's laptop. Mac was a tremendous musician and composer. He unfortunately died of cancer a couple of years ago, but not before he finished an album, the first album, Resurrection and Revival, and that led to me discovering all this other music, which kind of came together in two other albums, Resurrection and Revival Part 2, and now we have Resurrection and Revival Part 3 coming out, and I think they sent you some of the tracks from Part 3.
Yeah, no, it's very haunting, very compelling as well, and what's it like when you think you know all the things that your son accomplished, and then these new nuggets keep appearing like this?
It's like discovering treasure, really. Mm-hmm. When when Mac died, it was a very, very difficult cancer fight, and he was a tremendous musician, as I mentioned, and the cancer had disabled him so much that he couldn't play drums anymore. He couldn't really play music anymore, but he started thinking about a piece that he wrote in college that he never finished, and that's what led him to start working on his music again. And, you know, I never thought he'd want to do that because the cancer fight was really taking its toll on him. But in the last year of his life, 2023, he went to work on this piece of music called Arctic Circles, and you can see the videos of a lot of these pieces of music at Max Sinise YouTube. Just look him up on YouTube, Max Sinise. And you will see a video for Arctic Circles where he's in the studio with some of the great musicians in Los Angeles, and they are playing his music along with his buddy Oliver Schnee, who teamed up with him to work on Resurrection and Revival Part 1. And then after Mac died, I found all these nuggets, these beautiful little pieces of gold in his laptop of musical things that he was working on that he just tucked away, and some of them he never finished, some of them he had, some of them we took and expanded them, we added to them, and now we have two albums of music that are already out. The first two records at one point were among the top 10 most downloaded records on iTunes in America about a year ago, and now we have the third record coming out. And you can find these vinyl records at GarySiniseFoundation.org, with all the proceeds of the vinyls going to help our mission at the Gary Sinise Foundation. He was very dedicated to that mission. He worked for the foundation. He was a great composer, and clearly I miss him so much, but I feel blessed that he left all these treasures for me to find and do something with.
Well, treasures for all of us. You think about how we're here for a short time, but your movies will live on, and you don't know who you inspired with those, and his music will live on, and you don't know how that will help and inspire other people as well. And Gary, I also know that you are hooking up with one of the best young pitchers, one of the best pitchers flat out in baseball, with Paul Skeens. Tell us about that collaboration, please.
Well, Paul, it was great. A couple of years ago, we heard from Paul that he wanted to team up with the Gary Sinise Foundation and donate to the foundation. And I guess the way Paul told me, his dad Paul went to the Air Force Academy for a couple of years until he left and really went into, pitching full time and everything. But his father mentioned the Gary Sinise Foundation as a possible charity that Paul should support. So he looked at us and got familiar with what I was doing, and he reached out to us and said he wanted to donate. He wanted to donate for every strikeout. He would donate $100 and to the Gary Sinise Foundation. We said, okay, that's great. He ended up with that first season. I think he had 170 strikeouts. So we did well, and then he enjoyed it so much he came back last year and did the same thing. And he teamed up with Raising Cane, great fast food restaurant, chicken restaurant, and they teamed up and they donated to the Gary Sinise Foundation on a partnership campaign that they were working on, and now this is the third season that Paul is donating to the foundation again.
Now, what happens when Paul takes the bump at Wrigley? Are you still rooting for K's?
You know what? I told Paul, I said, if you're thinking of going anywhere, I hope you're thinking of going to Wrigley. And I said, I'll root for you every game except, don't beat up on my Cubs too badly. And, Cubs are doing really well.
Yeah.
And, gosh, if Paul went to the Cubs, that would be spectacular.
Just one last question for you, because I know how patriotic you are, and I think about your character in Apollo 13 when you played Ken Mattingly. When you saw the Artemis, did that kind of take you back to filming that movie?
Oh yeah, I thought a lot about that, because it was a spectacular mission. Of course, hadn't been around around the moon since 1972, and it was I know Ron Howard felt the same way. All of us that worked on Apollo 13 and got so deeply involved and committed to telling that story as truthfully as possible. We were all watching that mission and just thinking a lot about how great it was to work together on Apollo 13 and to tell that heroic story. What a great moment. They called it a successful failure because, yeah, they may not have landed on the moon on that mission, but they had a lot of challenges to just save those 3 lives and get them home. And that was a massive team effort. They brought them home, and it was just a spectacularly heroic American story, and it was a privilege to work on it.
Yeah, and a great movie. All right, everyone, check out Resurrection Revival Part 3, Max Sinise, and, of course, all the things that are going on at the GarySiniseFoundation.org. Gary, always great having you on. Appreciate it, and hopefully we'll catch up down the road.
And thanks so much for having me. You bet.
All right, we'll hear a little more music on the way out here, and we'll come back with Pedro Fernandez.
Have you suffered sports betting losses? There is someone who wants to fight for you to see you get back what you have lost to those sports betting companies. Michael Watts is a prolific trial lawyer with over $11 billion in total recoveries for his clients. And now with sportsbettingclaim.com, he'd like to help you. Michael has been a leader in some of the largest and most complex cases in the country, from defective cars and tires, damaging drugs and medical products. He has always represented the rights of individuals harmed by large corporations. His efforts recently resulted in the recovery of billions for individuals who lost their properties to fires carelessly caused by electric companies and others. Michael knows that sports betting companies preyed on and manipulated consumers into losing their life savings, and he wants to make them pay. If you have suffered financial hardship as a result of online sports betting and would like help seeking compensation, please submit your claim information for evaluation at sportsbettingclaim.com. Michael Watts is focused on winning for you. sportsbettingclaim.com.
My fellow Americans, let the message ring out that from this day forward, when you buy American, you buy the best. Handcrafted, something premium, something pure. For this is the very essence of what our servicemen and women gave their lives to protect, and by God, we shall not allow their sacrifice to be forgotten. It's to show the world how great American can be. And we will not wait for tomorrow to come. We will stand here, this moment, together, and we will start today. Don't ever forget how great it is to be American. America we need right now. America. Premium. Celebrate responsibly.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you a needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate in the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
Staples presents Was Easy.
Our office computer from like 2012.
They had computers then?
Yeah, I don't know much about new tech.
Apparently.
So I went to Staples and saved big on an AI-powered HP laptop and HP OfficeJet Pro printer, which also came with 3 months of free instant ink.
And we're back in this century. During Staples HP Tech Event, save up to 35% on HP printers and up to 40% on AI-powered HP PCs.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app. Into 11-1, select my only.
Like kickboxing, that's my favorite sport. Kickboxing is great. When you think about it, it combines the style and grace of boxing with kicking.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, tell me, mirror, what is wrong? Can it be my daylight clothes or is it just my daylight song? What I do ain't make believe. People say I sit and try, but when it comes to being daylight, it's just me, myself, and I. It's just me, myself, and I. It's just me, myself, and I. It's just me, myself, and I.
Rick Tittle can usually be found at He Baby Mama House.
Which one, girl? Oh, no, you didn't. Don't act like I did when this video I had said. All right. Pedro Fernandez, the host of Ring Talk Worldwide. He's back in studio once again, and you can see him on the YouTube and Twitch.tv cameras in here. He hosts the show. Pedro, when do you host it?
Saturday and Sundays at 11 a.m. Pacific time, right here on Sports Byline, Twitch.tv, and, of course, YouTube.
All right. So, we saw since last we talked of Shane Mosley Jr. scoring a stunning knockout of Serhii.
He's fighting for Dana. I don't even want to talk about him.
Bohacek. Well, I do want to talk about Dana because you and Dana had a little bit of a fracas one time.
He's a turd.
Why?
There's lots of reasons, but the bottom line is I think he's a pimp, and he doesn't even wear good clothes. I mean, at least the pimps I dealt with as a cop, they dress nice, okay? Dana don't even dress nice, but he's got his own private jet. Bottom line is the guy's probably a billionaire, but he's done it at the expense of other people's blood. And what I mean by that is he's exploited people. When I say exploited, I'm talking about like guys getting $500,000 for selling out Madison Square Garden. The same guy getting $9 million for a boxing match. I mean, that kind of stuff doesn't make sense. Dana's paying you $500,000 to sell out the biggest arena in the world, and then you get $9 million to be a chump in a boxing match. Something's wrong with that picture. You don't see any of the UFC guys as millionaires. I mean, how many guys you see like rolling around in limousines and that kind of stuff? You don't see it because Dana doesn't pay. They only pay 10% of the money. What's the NBA pay? 55%? I think the NFL gets 50-something percent. In other words, they get a percentage of the whole total take.
Yeah.
In MMA, they get about 8 to 10%.
You think they'll unionize?
They can't. You can't unionize a bunch of self-contractors.
Wow. So how did you and Pedro had your own personal beef?
Well, Dana and me had a contract because I was tight with the Fertitta brothers, especially Lorenzo Fertitta. He's like a billionaire. He owns all those casinos.
You mean the Mattress Mac guy?
Huh?
Fertitta?
No, Fertitta.
Oh, Fertitta. Okay, gotcha.
But he owned the Palace casinos. He owns the Palace casinos in Vegas and this and that. And he was the guy that spent, I think they spent $1.5 million to buy the UFC, and then they sold the UFC for $4.2 billion. So they made $4,100 million on the deal. More power to them. Okay? But so anyway, Dana and I, when they first started off, I guess it was about UFC 35, we had a deal. It was $4,000 a month. And I was doing a show called Octagon Talk, much like Ring Talk, Octagon Talk. So anyway, from the same studios. And he said, okay, blah, blah, blah. And about 3 or 4 weeks into this, about a month into the contract, he comes to me, he goes, we need to cut your contract. So I'm getting $4,000 a month from him. I don't think I declared
that. Was that $1,000 a show?
$1,000 a week.
Okay.
Anyway, so I was getting $1,000 a week from him, and I was blowing him like, figuratively and literally almost. But the bottom line is, we're pumping up the USC, and he comes to me and he says, I got to cut your contract a little bit because I'm having money problems. So I said, okay, I'll sit down, and when I come to Vegas, I'll meet with you, right? So I come to Vegas, I meet with him. He wants to cut my contract 75%. Wait. We're not talking a 10% cut, a 15% cut. We're talking a 75% cut from $4,000 to $1,000. I said, I'm thinking to myself, this guy must be out of his mind. All right?
It was a signed deal?
Signed deal. I forgot about it. So anyway, I had my lawyer approve it, Mark Risman. Anyway, so he says to me, oh, come on, Pedro. He goes, it'd be $1,000, $1,000 life. I go, will you put that in writing, Dana? And this is where the punk ass Dana came out. He goes, oh, come on, Pedro, you can trust me. I say, yeah, right. I walked away. I used up the $4,000 for the rest of the year, $4,000 a month, and that's just the way it went down. My lawyer said to me, never talk to the guy again. You don't need to. When I saw him one time, we snickered at each other. I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't know if I could beat him in a fight, but I don't like him.
Well, it's not like the Philippines where all the Pacquiao fans want to kill you.
No, they sort of mellowed out a little bit.
I always bring that up because you made that claim.
They don't draw
as soon
pictures
as you
of
got
me
off
and
the
poke holes in anymore.
As soon as you get off the plane in the Philippines, that was it.
Just about. Don't knock Pacquiao in the Philippines.
All right, tell us about Dubois Wardley.
It was probably one of the most. It was probably one of the greatest heavyweight fights in a long time.
Mm-hmm. And these are no names to the general public.
Not really no names. Fabio Wardley was undefeated in 20 fights.
I'm saying to the general public. This ain't like, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. See, here's what's up. But Rick, I don't know what the general public is anymore. You're the general public?
I'm a huge sports fan, and I didn't know the names.
Okay, Daniel Dubois has been 3 times. The unique thing about his 3 defeats is that he was counted out by a referee all 3 times. I can't think of another guy that's been counted at 3 times.
Wow.
Not in my life. But the bottom line is he was a very slight underdog going into this fight, and I wondered why he was such a slight underdog. And then I realized why. The other guy, although he's tough and he to fight, he's 31 years old, but he's one-dimensional. All he throws is 1-2s. He never threw a 1-2-3 combination, meaning a left jab, right hand, and a left hook. He never threw that all day. He never threw a left hook in 11 rounds.
What, do you fight like Butterbean?
No, Butterbean. No, don't knock Butterbean.
No, I saw what he did to Johnny Knoxville.
But Butterbean, no. I played with Butterbean a few times as far as talking is concerned, right? But let me tell you, I saw Butterbean get up off his ass one time and crush some dude.
What's his real name?
Eric Esch.
Very good.
ESCH.
Yeah.
Good guy. Good guy. There's no doubt about it. He's lost a lot of weight. If you look at him now, he looks like
he's Bean.
He looks like he went to Weight Watchers.
Very good. So now this is the thing. It's sort of like men's tennis in America. When I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, we were always in the Wimbledon. It just goes on and on, all the greats. And now we don't have anyone on the men's side. And so, and I've told you before, like when I was in high school.
Jimmy Connors, McEnroe, all those guys were smoking.
Go on and on. Yeah. So
a friend of mine played Rosie Cassell tennis down here in the city. For him, I said to him, listen, man, if you play her and you play one set with her, there was like a contest. If you can play 1 point with her, I said we can win $500. So I wasn't going to embarrass myself. I pushed him in there. He couldn't do it.
I think Rosie is and is an investor in Sports Byline.
Is she an investor in Sports Byline?
Sure.
That's a nice lady.
Rosie Cassell.
Let me tell you, I came in contact with her, and I'm not kissing her. I came in contact with her 2 or 3 times, and she's in my life, and she's always been a nice lady, always pleasant to be around at different events. And speaking of Sports Byline, the Godfather has been coming in and making cameo appearances. Ron Barr.
I did see him the other day. Yeah.
Well, I was like, whoa.
And he always walks in unannounced and puts his bag down.
You know what, though? I'll say one thing, though. He's single. He's got 2 girlfriends, they told me. He's got 2 chicks.
Don't say that on the air.
What
are you doing?
Well, I'm supposed to say it?
Road rules.
I'm sorry.
You know what?
It was 4 girlfriends. I cut it back to 2.
I saw at the Super Bowl week at Radio Row, Ron would come in and because he would be doing some interviews like after me, and he would, whoever I'd have, he would sit down next or he would stand directly behind me, so like his stomach on my back. Like he was like, because it was very small, he was very involved as an observer of that week.
Listen, I've known Ron. God, I don't know how long I've known Ron now, but the bottom line is he's always, he was back, he was doing weather. I remember he was doing the weather on TV.
In Seattle.
No, he did the weather here.
Oh, he did sports here.
Was the sports here?
Sports here, then weather and what was that, Cairo, whatever that was in Seattle.
Well, anyway, yeah, he was
the guy. He was before Radnich.
Yeah, and, him and Barry Thomas, of course, the Showtime guy that came to us from City College.
I used to work with Barry on TV, yeah.
When he went to Channel 5, he was the first sports guy in the Bay Area. Of all the news guys, the news stations didn't have sports guys. I think he was the first guy.
Well, you know who else did sports early on was Dan Fouts' dad. You remember him? Yeah.
No, I remember Dan Fouts.
Yeah, because Dan Fouts, I think, was an SI guy. But just before we let you leave, the point is, I want an American hero. The last we've had was Andre Ward, the last gold medal,
Oscar De La
Son
Hoya.
of God. Yeah,
I mean, what? He lives up to that Son of God stuff too. Go on.
Okay, but I'm just saying, and no offense to Daniel Dubois and Fabio Wardley, I'm sure great fighters, but I need them to knock out the Eastern Europeans and these other
Americans
guys.
aren't hungry enough to fight anymore. They just aren't. Believe me, they just aren't. The diet, the food chain in this country has poisoned most people. They're unmotivated. They're hooked on sugar. Sugar should be classified
Screen time.
Sugar should be classified as a narcotic, man. I think Mike Tyson and I agree on that. They should. I mean, how many people die each year of sugar compared to smoking?
I don't know. By the way, you still smoke?
No, smoke weed.
Oh, is that what you spent the $4,000 on?
No, I didn't spend $4,000 on that. Bottom line is, I smoke. Listen, I'm a product of the 420 era.
Well, yeah, we grew up basically in the same era. Yeah. I was born in the 60s. Where were you born? 57?
57. Bottom line is, most of my friends that drank are either fat or dead.
Yeah, or both.
Or both.
All right, before we let you go,
Saturday, Sunday, 11 a.m.
this is what from Pedro. You get a ball of energy, and you get a lot of great personal inside stories, because when you're old like me and Pedro, we have been through a lot. We have met a lot of people and seen a lot of crap. And when it comes to the fight game, nobody more than PF, my man. So tell us once again, where can we hear you?
Poison Pen Pedro is on Sports Byline Saturdays and Sundays, 11 a.m. Pacific time. That's 2 p.m. Eastern time. Live on Sports Byline Saturday for an hour. Live on Sports Byline Sunday for 2 hours. Of course, Ring Talk Live Worldwide has been a production of Sports Byline for better than 17 years.
And how about that? You can see his fly lid on YouTube. Yeah, one more.
One more mention. You got the impeccable one in the room. Listen, the boss's kid shouldn't be that good. This guy's impeccable. He's the greatest producer I've ever come in contact with in 41 years.
He's impeccable.
Impeccable. That's right, the impeccable one.
With a CK. All right, I'm Rick Tittle. Come on back on Byline.
I'm an American veteran. I'm proud to have served this country. Helping veterans is something all Americans can participate in, and it's as simple as donating an old car that you have sitting around. When you call the Veteran Car Donation Program, they'll explain how their program works, and then arrange a time they can come and pick up your vehicle for free. Running or not, it doesn't matter. They take cars, trucks, motorcycles, or vans. Show your support by donating your car and get a tax deduction in the process. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program right now. They'll come and pick your car up for free, and you get a tax deduction in the process. Call the number we're about to give you right now. Thank you, and God bless America.
800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. 800-887-1097. That's 800-887-1097.
Have you suffered sports betting losses? There is someone who wants to fight for you so you get back what you have lost to those sports betting companies. Michael Watts is a prolific trial lawyer with over $11 billion in total recoveries for his clients. And now with SportsBettingClaim.com, he'd like to help you. Michael has been a leader in some of the largest and most complex cases in the country, from defective cars and tires to damaging drugs and medical products. He has always represented the rights of individuals harmed by large corporations. His efforts recently resulted in the recovery of billions for individuals who lost their properties to fires carelessly caused by electric companies and others. Michael knows that sports betting companies preyed on and manipulated consumers into losing their life savings, and he wants to make them pay. If you have suffered financial hardship as a result of online sports betting and would like help seeking compensation, please submit your claim information for evaluation at sportsbettingclaim.com. Michael Watts is focused on winning for you. sportsbettingclaim.com.
I get a lot of calls from people across the country who are suffering from the affliction of IRS tax debt. Hi, I'm the tax doctor. Call me right now. My team specializes in helping people over the age of 50 solve their tax problems. And the bigger your tax problem is, the more money you can save. If you owe the IRS money, or you're about to owe the IRS money, or even if you need to file years of unfiled returns, call us right now. Our friendly, highly trained representatives are waiting right now to take your call. Over the years, we've helped thousands of people just like you stop the tax liens, wage garnishments, and harassing phone calls. You don't need to send the IRS a big fat check. We can negotiate a lower amount. That's what we guarantee for you. So call us right now.
800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359.
I'm going to give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no-keeper off my property.
If you think about calling Rick Tittle, just put down that phone and shut your ugly face.
No, don't say that. Rick Tittle back with you coast to coast and around the world on the American Forces Radio Network. And it's our pleasure to welcome to the show the co-host of Bike Talk. It is Taylor Nichols. And Taylor Nichols is about to embark on something very ambitious. He is going to ride his bicycle from right here in San Francisco to see his 100-year-old dad in East Lansing, Michigan. And he's going to go from the Golden Gate to the Mackinac Bridge, which is way up there by them Yoopers. 4,000 miles in 2 months. Taylor, welcome to the show. What inspired this crazy tour?
Well, thanks very much for having me. I'm really looking forward to it. My daughters live in San Francisco. I live down in Los Angeles. And my dad, my 101-year-old dad, as you said, lived in Michigan. And I've just been looking for a way to connect the generations and get a little time for myself on the road. So I started thinking about it and planning it. And, usually when you plan a trip like this, you book a job or something like that. And I never booked a job, so now I'm doing the trip.
So what part are you dreading the most? Like Rockies and the weather, or cobblestone streets, or busy freeways? What are the ones that seem perilous right now on paper?
Well, definitely the part that worries me the most are the cars and having cars. I'm a little bit worried about leaving San Francisco, to be honest with you. I'm going to ride across the Golden Gate Bridge and then up along the coast, all the way past Fort Bragg and Eureka, all the way to Crescent City, and then to Oregon. Oh. And so I'm worried most about this first section, these first couple of days, partly because it's a weekend and partly because it's just more traffic, and I don't know the roads that well in this area.
Are you going to stick to Highway 1? Are you going 5, 101? What are you doing?
I'm going to stick to Highway to the 1 most of the way. I've been working with an organization called Adventure Cycling, which has bike routes mapped all over the country and using their routes as the guidepost. And they actually have turn-by-turn directions to keep you off really busy roads and put you on bike paths when you can and things like that. So they've been a really wonderful resource. And they partner with a group called Ride with GPS. And so therefore I can see it on my phone, on the GPS, kind of know which route I'm going to take and what the elevation gain is and things like that.
And yet, with all that technology, not to be a naysayer, it's been more dangerous because everybody's looking at their damn phone. So how do you attest for that?
Yeah, you are. Well, you just have to pray. As you said in the introduction, I'm a co-host and a producer of a radio show and a podcast called Bike Talk. And we have a pretty big reach. And a guy named Abe Downey, who works for Craig Calfee and Calfee Design, your audience that are bikers will know Calfee. He's a real famous bike maker, but they are also a design company. And he reached out with a product that they have called the Space Bar, which is an LED light that lights up on the back of my bike and kind of shows cars to give me 3 feet as they pass. And it's been really wonderful. I used it last coming into San Francisco, and it was really great because it's really bright. And so I'm thinking that will wake people up and get them off their phones. They're driving on the 101 or the 1. And, they should be looking at the scenery anyways rather than their phones.
In the 70s, I had a Schwinn with a 5-speed gear shift and, a stick shift and a banana seat. And if you wanted the fancy ones, those were called 10 speeds. Now they're road bikes. Is it because of the sort of the mountain bikes that are no longer called 10 speeds?
Yeah. Well, we lost 10 speeds a while ago. Now it's, 18 speeds, 20 speeds, things like that. And, to be honest, gravel bikes are moving back in that direction. They have one cog in the front, one chain ring in the front, 2 or even 3. But then in the back, they have maybe 11 different speeds. And people often say that their biggest speed is like the size of a dinner plate, which means you can go up any hill because you have such a low gear to get up the hill.
Now with e-bikes, last summer when I was in Boise, I rented a pedal assist e-bike, and I found that if I wanted to pedal really hard, the electricity kind of turned off, and then if I went really soft, it would go fast. And we see kids, on these things, and I know they're supposed to be whatever, under 30 miles per hour. But on your show, what are some of the positives and negatives of the e-bike revolution?
That's a really wonderful question and an important one, because I think, and we think really strongly, that e-bikes are a game changer. They allow more people to ride bikes and multimodal transportation further. So you could easily go, across town, up some of the hills in San Francisco on an e-bike. But you're right, there is this proliferation now of e-motos, which are not really bikes, but e-motorcycles. And they go much faster than 28 miles an hour, have engines that are much bigger than 750 horsepower or whatever the category is. And they're also being ridden by children. And, there was a development recently where a mother had bought her 14-year-old son an e-moto, and he didn't have the proper training, and the bike was not registered, and he was riding it kind of recklessly, and he hit an 81-year-old Vietnam veteran and killed him. And the powers that be in the city where this happened have arrested the mother, which is a very scary proposition. But it's just like if your kid got a gun and you didn't properly store the gun, the parent might be responsible for that also. So this is a real double-edged sword. We believe in e-motos and think that they have a place in the marketplace, but they have to be regulated. They have to be licensed. The driver has to be 16. You have to wear a helmet and all those kinds of things for e-moto. But don't confuse an e-moto with an e-bike. That is much slower, much less powerful, but still really important in getting more people on bikes and getting them riding further.
So I asked you what parts you dread. I would guess maybe the parts that would be gravy, maybe the Great Plains, the Dakotas, less traffic, flat surfaces, places like that.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to camp a lot of the ways and stay in hotels when I can and need to. And I'm really looking forward to leaving Missoula, Montana area and heading east across Montana and across North Dakota and Minnesota. And that's an area of the country that I've not been to very much. I'm from the Midwest, from Michigan, obviously where my dad lives. But I'm really looking forward to that sort of expansive, Montana's a big sky country, right? I'm looking forward to sort of expansive landscape. And people often say that on a tour like this, the first 2 weeks are difficult because you're kind of getting your sea legs and all that. And we'll be over that hump by the time I get there. So I'm really looking forward to that.
When I was in high school, I think it was 1982, one of my teachers and his friend took their 10 speeds from California to New York, and they did a coast-to-coast bike ride as an anti-abortion thing. They were trying to get the word out, like, don't get abortions. That was their deal. But they said they were taken in by so many families that, especially Bible Belt, that agreed with what they were doing. But when they did camp, they just said, now this is 1982, they covered themselves with Ben Gay and just ate all night. So what about what about familiar?
I love that idea.
Yeah, friendly people. And then what about just, that bike seat burning a hole up your backside?
Well, I'm a pretty big biker, so my butt is kind of used to the wear and tear of a bike seat.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about that. It's kind of funny. Actually, the problem can be with your hands. Your hands on the handlebars take a real beating.
Wow.
And the nerves in your hands can be, kind of abused by the constant pounding of the handlebars. So that's one thing that I'm worried about. But on Bike Talk, I have interviewed a lot of people that have done long bike trips, and they all say that just being on the bike really brings out the best in people around you. That people open their homes or their yards, and churches open their yards for you to camp. There's also an organization called Warm Showers, which is kind of a funky name, right? Not golden showers, but warm showers.
Oh man!
And it's a group of bicycle enthusiasts who open their home to people who are traveling by bike. And I'm looking forward to meeting some of those people and staying in their yard or in their guest room or something, and talking to them about why they open their home to people traveling by bikes, as well as getting a soft, comfortable bed for the night.
And finally, we can follow along on something called the Strava app. Tell us about that, please.
Yep. Strava is an app that many skiers, runners, and bikers know. And, you turn it on, and your GPS on your phone tracks where you've ridden. And it's really a wonderful app, Strava. And you can follow my bike ride or anyone's bike ride, even pros. They're out racing, doing training. You can follow their bike rides on Strava. So you can follow it on Strava. We're also going to talk about it a lot on Bike Talk, which is at biketalk.org for online listeners, or Spotify or Apple Music. But also, I'm going to use Ride with GPS, and you can follow it there. And I'm really looking forward to it. But as I get excited about this cross-country trip, I talk to people on our show who are riding across Africa. So there's really just all kinds of wonderful people out there doing great things on the bike, and I'm just doing one small little bit,
You got to be careful you don't go to some like Walmart next to a strip club, and then people on Strava like, what is he doing right now?
My wife. Yeah, what's he doing at the gentleman's club, right?
All right. Hey, everybody, follow along. Excuse me, Taylor Nichols. You can hear the enthusiasm on his voice. Biketalk.org has all the info. Taylor, give us a call from Michigan when you get there, man. Safe travels.
I totally will. Thanks very much for talking with me. I enjoyed it.
All right. Me too. We'll take a quick break, and we will come back on Sports Byline USA.
It's more than a rebellion. When your teen is slipping into drugs or alcohol, when social media and pornography consume time in their mind, when depression and even suicidal thoughts cast a shadow over your home, as a parent, you feel powerless. There is hope. At Turnabout Ranch, troubled teens step away from the chaos and into a clarity of nature on a working cattle ranch. Care for horses, learn responsibility, build trust, and rediscover purpose. It isn't theory, it's real work. Real therapy, real healing. Families from across the country found transformation right here, just when they thought hope was gone. If your teen is struggling with addiction, harmful online behaviors, even weight management, call right now and get the help you all need.
800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. 800-219-2494. That's 800-219-2494.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. 800-690-8223. That's 800-690-8223.
I'm holding in my hand the American Silver Eagle dollar. It's a beautiful piece of American history, and it's 1 ounce of silver. Originally minted in 1986, these coins are a beautiful classic piece of American history, and they're a great investment you should add to your portfolio. The beauty of silver is, however you have available to invest, silver is affordable and easy to acquire, with one coin costing around $30. So, if you choose to invest a few thousand in silver, you can get quite a bit for your money, and you'll have a tangible asset you can hold, one you can be proud to own. Claim your piece of American history with American Silver Eagle dollars. Call the Silver Hotline right now.
800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. 800-620-1624. That's 800-620-1624.
I'm a pretty normal guy. I do one weird thing. I like to go in the women's room for number 2. I've been caught several times, and I have paid dearly.
Rick Tittle never eats beef jerky during any month that ends in Vember.
All right, thank you for that, everyone who tuned in. 1-800-878-PLAY is the number to call if you want to do it really quickly. It's like do a Paul Harvey and a Rush Limbaugh scrunching up the thing. All right, the NFL schedule came out yesterday, and 5 teams have no primetime games, have no night games as we stand. Now, if they all go undefeated, they'll get flexed, but they won't. The Dolphins, no prime time, none for the Titans, none for the Jets, none for the Cardinals, and no prime games for my Raiders. And I think, oh, usually the Raiders, and I think, oh, they were the worst team in football, literally. All these other teams suck, too. And you know what? I like it a lot.